Here we go. Welcome to what is going to be the last ever Ourteam podcast. And throughout this podcast, you'll start to understand why. I don't play the game anymore, really. And we're going to touch on why. We're going to talk about the entire last year, the dynamic. There's a saying that people say, the downfall of this needs to be studied. Well, we're about to study the downfall of this mode over the last 9 months. And we're going to do it in molecular detail. We're going to look at everything, the lies, the deception, the greed. We're going to go through all of it. And then I'll call it a wrap on my 2K career. But there's some people with me today that are gonna crack on with this stuff. So let's start with DBG. How you doing? You got a special intro?
I don't have a special intro, but as you can see, I'm in the graveyard. I'm in the Myteam graveyard. You can see some of the great times of Myteam that are gone. You can see Wesley Person here. Maybe not the greatest year, but we thought 23 was going to be the worst year, but unfortunately, we didn't expect this to happen. And then you've got over to this side of me, you're seeing Luka Doncic. Yeah, some people said that he broke the game, but you know what? We were at least able to put the ball in the basket. That was a bit of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then there's Utah. Remember when meme cards were a thing? This card, if he was in the market this year, would be 52,000 MT right now. And you know what? They gave him a release on very quick. So which means that he'd be an opal. So he'd be 100,000 MT right now. We've seen it with Isaiah Thomas. They can give opals for 100. You can give 5'9" guys for 100k. And then we have, of course, got Dean Wade. A fan favorite's Dean Wade. Remember when we used to get fan favorites cards? Remember when they cared about the community? Remember when we actually used to get cards that were relevant and things that we hyped? Now we've got Cerebral set with a DNA. What does DNA have to do with Cerebral 2K? Shout out to DIT deep in the queue. Unbelievable card art. But what does DNA have to do with Cerebral? What even is Cerebral?
I feel like we just got a full DBG video without the filler to make it 8 minutes. that was good.
No M's and keyboards and you know what? Let me tweet this to make it 8 minutes. Yeah,
right in live tweets. Yeah, Jacob was good.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? I don't really know what the future is going to hold for my team. All I can say really is my experience this year has been unlike any of the other years since I've been around in this community. So I feel like this podcast is kind of a necessity, maybe a bit overdue. This kind of feels like a State of the Union address. We were probably ready for that.
I referred to it as my team's funeral earlier.
Yeah, that's fair way to put this. So I'm kind of excited to talk about it because at the end of the day, I'm still very passionate about this game mode. Grateful for the times that were great, like DBG was talking about with those older cards. So yeah, I think this was very well needed for us and the community.
Therapy, yeah, for sure. Mojo, how we doing?
Man, what's good, man? I'm just glad to be back with the crew here, man, to have everybody here, man, from DBG, Jacob, you, and Josh, man. But this mode is at a state where if I could just put it into words, I could use egregious, despicable, terrible. There's just so many things I could just say since 23. How it's just went downhill, and I can't wait to talk about it with everybody, and I'm sure the comment section is going to have a lot to say about it too. It's just so much to unpack, Yeah. And I'm ready for it. I'm here for every thought, I'm here for all of it, I'm just honestly in shock, the way it just went downhill, I mean, I want to start with the unattainability, but I know we're going to get there down the line and everything. So there's so much right now.
The deep dive is coming.
But anyway, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm anxious. I don't know if I'm nervous. I don't know if I just have a lot to say. But I can't wait to to get it all out. All of us for real. Like you said, this is therapy, or kumbaya session or whatever.
Yeah. Josh, I think the only thing anyone cares about is the hole in the ball. You can tell us how you're doing if you want, but. Update on the hole?
Update on the hole. Still exists.
And there's another one behind you that I've just noticed, right?
Yeah, we're not pointing that one out though. I'm hiding it.
Move over, let's see it. Just another random hole in the wall.
Yeah, that's 2 years old. Like anybody in stream probably should have caught that a long time ago. But I don't stream anymore. I'm doing fine. This game mode, it's like you ever stub your toe in the middle of the night told me you go to pee. You know, this is like having your balls slammed in from a steel door. That's what this experience of my team has been like. That's how I describe it.
You got away with words, haven't you? It's quite poetic.
Yeah, very poetic. I learned from because I have an English friend, so you know I learned.
You got it's his biggest flex in real life, by the way. Every time I speak to him, he's like, "Yeah, I got a friend from England." Okay, let's start this off the only way that I can start this off. So, to do this without being a complete hypocrite, I'm going to kick things off by talking about the recent discussion surrounding Next Makers and by resigning as one. I'm done. You can stop bookmarking my tweets. You can stop keeping tabs on everything. Like, I'm done. I'm going to talk about why. Now, the simple truth is you can't honestly talk about being a Next Maker while still being a Next Maker, right? It's impossible. Like, everything you say is scrutinized. We know the deal. So yeah, the only way for me to actually do this, and like I said, this will be my last ever 2K video, period. So nothing to lose. I'm actually going to touch on that first. Mick, you said quite a few times in your videos when you've reacted to like my stuff saying, oh, you know, it's kind of crazy that I'm saying this because I've got something to lose. What? To be called a shill, to be a vehicle for the anger of the community, like someone to take it out on, to have your name disparaged, your character disparaged. What was I losing? To you know,
it is still a title that at the time people would still want. Like there was at that time being linked to 2K was still seen as probably better than not being linked with 2K. Obviously things have changed.
Yeah.
But like you can't say that every August there isn't people thinking, oh, I'd love to be in New York, LA, wherever Community Day is, especially if they haven't gone before.
True.
Whereas now, I think it's just the way the game's gone and everything. There is nothing to lose because regardless of the positives aspects there are of being involved with 2K, just having your name, there's a stigma involved with the word Next Maker.
That's a perfect.
That's not on.
Yeah.
And I'll say it, like that's not on most of you guys. That's because of a very select few small group of the Next Makers that are in fact shills. But there is a stigma involved with that. There is now a stigma involved with being linked with 2K. So at the time, I don't think that stigma was there nearly as much.
Yeah.
But obviously,
I think that's like in a nutshell, like the experience I've had. It's one of the most jarring experiences I've had in my life, to be honest. I will be 40 in 14 days, exactly 2 weeks. I'm gonna be 40. And being a Next Maker has been one of the most jarring experiences I've had, to the point where like I just feel like I have to get away from it. Like it's not a positive thing. Let's put it that way. It's not a positive experience. I want to shout out a few people because I don't really know how this is going to go, and I'm going to be open. I'm not going to break NDA on anything, but I'm going to be open. There's a few people I do want to shout out. Mike McKendall is an absolute legend. All the amazing people that have been brought into this program, you know, Fit back in the day, Meech, all of these guys, he brought me in as well, is Mike McKendall. He's a legend. He was my smoking buddy at Community Day. Like, I got a lot of time for him. Zaro is amazing. I think given Rain to do what he would really want to do with the Next Maker program, it would be an incredible program. Like, he's got an incredible background at EA doing something similar. Got a lot of love for Zaro. And just a massive shout out to Tom from 2K UK, who's done everything he can to try and keep me invested in this program and make it a positive experience for me. You know, whether it's going to Community Day, play test, getting a logo, just getting me wrestling tickets. There's been a lot of positives. I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, you know, it's just been the worst thing ever. The word is jarring. That is how I describe the experience. But Tom has done an incredible amount, and he has really gone out of his way, to the extent that if I think Tom wasn't involved, I probably would have left when Fit and Meech left. I think that's the reality, which was, you know, just under a year ago now. He kept me invested long enough for that. And I want to give a shout out to a few Next Makers / VIPs. This is something I'll clear up really quickly. This is something I can talk about. Next Makers have no involvement in the game. No input.
The game would be different if so, very obviously.
Say again?
The game would be different if you all did have a say. I mean...
Yeah. The playtest, I mean, is from a gameplay standpoint, it's Next Makers that are there. but the game that we tested isn't the game that I'm playing. So it's irrelevant. First of all, they can be involved in like hot fixes and like minor things. A player's name is spelt wrong or a jersey's wrong, just something like that. You know, they can get little things done. If you ask me through this game cycle, the things that I've wanted to address or have addressed and the things that have been addressed, the answer is zero. Nothing. And everything that you would have wanted me to address, hand or not, every single thing, whether it's the politest way I could think of doing it to like manage egos or just being super direct and going, hey, this is shit. Can we change it? I've tried every strategy possible. I don't even get a response. Not even a response, not even acknowledgement, nothing. They don't care. Next makers who are sitting there on the Myteam side, by the way, I'm talking about specifically, saying that they're doing this and influencing this. Some of them are trying. No one is doing it. No one is doing it. We are irrelevant. The program is redundant. It's actually been replaced by this thing called a VIP group, which is actually in the main 2K Discord. So there's a VIP group, and there's people that you might not expect to there. I don't know if I'm outing these people, but I'm doing it in a positive way, so I'm gonna say it anyway. There's 4 people specifically that I want to shout out for continuously trying to do the right thing. That's Floki, that's Spatial Jones, that's Spontaneous J, and that's Irv Gotti. They are the 4 people that will call this stuff out, call it out quite directly. They get the same response that I do, which is nothing. It's futile, but they're still trying. And when I'm gone, you know, tomorrow I will wake up and no longer be a next maker. Those guys will pick up those reins and keep trying to push for change. But yeah, it's a weight off my shoulders. It's been a jarring experience. It's not a positive. I'm completely fed up of just feeling like held accountable for saying the truth. The things we're going to discuss on this podcast are objective truths. When we talk about lies that have been told, they are actual lies. It's not my opinion. It's not my perception. I'm not bad-mouthing people. I'm not sabotaging anyone. I'm not playing the other side. I'm just saying it how it is. There's been multiple instances this year where you have lied, and I've called you out on it directly. What's the issue? You lied, right? So you have to hold yourself accountable to it. The game mode is in a terrible place. I've spoken about every element of it. I still tried throughout the last year to be involved, to be engaged. I grinded halfway to get Rice even this season and then tapped out. I have tried. I can't do it anymore. I don't enjoy the mode. I don't enjoy making content outside of podcasts, but I don't want to make a podcast every week about a shit game mode, to be completely honest with you. And it just be entirely an entirely negative thing I do every weekend. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into all of this stuff. I'm more than happy to be open about Next Maker stuff. If anyone has questions about it, feel free to ask me. Obviously, if you're in the chat as well, ask me stuff. If I pick up anything, I'll respond to it on Twitter as well. But no one has really ever pulled the curtain back on this, ever, on what it's been like. And it has been not a great experience for a very long time. So do you guys have any things you want to discuss about from a Next Maker perspective?
I think that maybe I'm kind of falling flat on me that it is really hard for people who are in the community who don't know Next Makers on a personal level to really understand what it entails and what goes into it and how little actually can come out of being a Next Maker. You know, I know you for a long time now, so of course, maybe I know more than your average person who doesn't know Next Makers on a personal level, but it's very evident that Next Makers feedback is going nowhere, right? Yeah. The smallest little things that obviously anybody who plays the game mode would look to be changed has clearly been passed along through Next Makers to 2K, and we still see no change. So for myself, I wanted to be a Next Maker a year ago, 2 years ago,
we spoke about
right?
it.
Yeah, I thought in my head, if I'm a Next Maker, I think I can add value to the program and to the game because I'm very tapped in. I've played the game for a long time. I think I've got good ideas. Once I realized that realistically, that means absolutely nothing and that's nothing to do with the Next Maker, what's the point of being in it? All you get is a free trip to Community Day. You guys aren't getting on payroll. You guys aren't getting money back for this. So realistically, you're trading people in the community looking at you some type of way for a trip to Community Day. Well, maybe a cool backpack. Like that's it, right? Like, you don't have any
This
We
sounds
skill.
pretty
don't,
cool.
did you not see all the swag that I don't even know his
So much
name, the
so.
park dude that got cooked by Crab. Did you not see all his swag and his hoodie?
Oh,
Like
that guy
that
died on
man
that
was
hill, didn't he?
grinding, opening his Sapphire prize ball at 9:15 a.m.
He was rocking it too, proud.
I remember him at Community Day.
Mhm.
He was, yeah. All I remember is Mo Moonsey roasted him at one point spectacularly in the middle of like
I love
the
Mo.
game.
I love that man. Shout out Mo.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Jacob, really quickly, because the idea is the thing that I've always felt uncomfortable with is this idea that they're doing me a favor, because that's how everything feels. When a lot of the time it's just not the case. I don't know, maybe a 20-year-old who has zero value in their life and nothing going on might see something like this as an opportunity, but for me, it just wasn't. Like, me traveling to San Francisco for the playtest, I flew out there. It's an 11-hour flight, by the way. Flew out there, spent a day there playing the game, 11 hours back. I probably traveled, like, including to and from airports, 30, 35 hours over a couple of days to go and help them test the game. But the whole thing was just presented. It's like they were trying to convince me that this was some huge favor they were doing for me. Okay, I understand you flew me a long way and you got me involved, but let's not act like it's just one-sided. You know what I mean? Like,
They brought you for a reason. Like, they didn't. If there was somebody in America that they felt could have been as helpful for their game, they would have just brought somebody from Nevada, California, and not paid for their flights.
Yeah.
So like, it's a case of they specifically wanted you, and if they didn't specifically want you, then why are they spending so much money bringing you there?
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of things just felt like everything felt like every time I went and did something or presented something, like see use of my time. Like Community Day, listen, I know people want to go to it. I don't know how open I want to be about this, but it just wasn't a very fun day.
I will say this about those things. The first time you go to one of these things is always great because you're meeting creators you've never seen. You're a lot of the time you're seeing people like some of the bigger creators that you're just like, oh my God, you've watched them, you're seeing them in person. Then once the novelty wears away, these events are just days. They're just days. Like other than meeting people, there's nothing positive really from them.
I didn't get the novelty to begin with. I mean, the actual physical day, like, listen, back in the day, I could grind 2K, right? I could do like 2-3 days on the game, grinding Kobe spotlights or whatever. But being locked in a room for 8 hours, being forced to play the game, I was bored out of my mind. Mike McKendall was my savior that day because, like, we went out for smokes. And, like, it's the only time I was allowed out the room. I'm not saying it was bad. It was cool. You know, I got to meet Med and Click, some really cool people that, you know,
I did too.
With. Yeah, you were out there. And obviously meeting Josh, which was actually probably the best thing I got from going to New York. You know, there were some really cool things about it, but it was just a trip to New York for a few days. Wow. Like, it wasn't, I don't know what people expect. Like, okay, yeah, I've got a few things like this cover's cool, but I could also make this at home. It's not like it's, you know, something groundbreaking. The ring's really cool, controller's cool, like all that stuff's cool. It's not like, it's not a bad experience or a terrible experience, but it's not something I would sell my soul to go to.
Yeah, and the one thing is like, even for a different point, the last point that you made, that like, and this is the one thing that I very much noticed when I was in any way involved, is that no matter how well you are doing, if 2K do anything, they believe they're doing you a favor and it's a one-way street that they're helping you out. Like, I'll give my example, like back when I was doing really well, like I was pulling in 10 million views a month for their game. And like 2K20 and 2K21 was 95% positive stuff. Like I brought so many people into that game, but 2K would give me a dev blog an hour before it was released, which basically meant that I could get the video out because of the embargo, maybe 15 minutes earlier than I would have. But it was always made seem to me like they were doing me this huge favor. And I'm like, this video got me 15,000 views. It might have gotten 14,000 views if I'd uploaded 15 minutes earlier. So for the sake of 1,000 views, which is about €6-7 of my 1,000 of my 8 million views a month, they're thinking they're doing me this huge favor. And it was like, there was never a situation where, and ironically, when I got dropped from the Next Makers, I had my 2 best months ever immediately afterwards. So it was like, there was never, 2K have never done anything for anyone in the Myteam community, and I mean that. Like, you saw the month Henry got dropped a year later, but the month they stopped giving like the early information because of the whole Bob Nedelicki leak when them changing the profile pictures was his 2 best months. 2K have never done anything for anyone in the community except maybe make their life 1% easier for content or bring the community day, which is 1 day in a year.
I think it almost hurts you more than it helps you at this point in time, because realistically, I mean, let's just be honest, all of the people who are still creating Myteam content that are at the relative top, you know, the people on Twitch who get the most views on Myteam streams, the people on YouTube who get the most views on videos, they're not next makers, because being a next maker, if anything, only hurts you. If I was somebody who was just a person in the community, I would be more attracted to somebody who isn't a next maker, because they're going to be more honest, they're going to be more open about certain things, right? Like, no one wants to watch. Look, the proof is in the pudding. Nobody wants to watch somebody who is going to just look at what's going on in this game mode, smile on their face, and say this is great. You know, like, because we're human. Like, we've played the game for a while too. We know where it was and where it is now. So, like, what does the next maker, like, how does that help a person? What's a logo help a creator? I mean, I know people who have logos who maybe the stream they got their logo, their views went up a little bit, and then it's back to where it started. There's no sort of like help and growth as far as I know. Like, Jazz, you could speak on this more too. Like, there's really nothing they do to push your channel or anything like that. Like, it's not going to help you grow as a creator, numbers wise, views wise, financially, at all.
Or reputationally. It's you're 100% right. That is the experience that I had. I had momentum when I became a next maker. It's why I became a next maker, right? And then I immediately just felt stifled. Like, what you're saying, I have to be careful how I say this, because I don't want this to come across as like I was lying or misleading, because I wasn't. But I was more selective, for sure, right? In the things that I would or wouldn't say. Like, there was times on this podcast, I think, you know, you've spoken to me about this, where there'll be a really, let's give you a specific example, right? The bands. Remember the bands? Specifically the 250 bands. We got Ty, you know, Josh, Matt, I think you were both on that podcast. We got Ty and Splash both on, right?
Yeah.
And in that scenario, I just didn't give my opinion. I gave them the platform to talk, but I didn't give my opinion. Why? Because it was too risky. It was too risky, and it is the case. You're right, and it takes, first of all, it takes the fun out of it completely, because, you know, I am quite a direct guy, and I do like to give my opinion. I am outspoken, but I wasn't for a very long time. And that was very, very stifling. I did start to create a podcast that, yes, created a platform for other people, but wasn't a platform for myself anymore.
And
you know, with like you being a next maker and like seeing you go through it, it's like that was something I kind of look forward to when I was creating content, like, you know, to be a next maker, be involved in the community. And then like seeing you and like the impact you were having, but like still like the negatives from it, it kind of just like more and more demoralized me. Like, cause like, you know, you're my good friend. I'm seeing you basically like at the, would you consider the top for being a content creator, up and coming, you know, creating content. And it's like, what would I even gain from that? Like, I'm putting all these hours into this game and it's like no changes happen. It's like, why would I even want to make content anymore? And that's like a part of the reason why it's just like I don't even enjoy the game mode anymore, and like I don't even stream anymore because of it. Because it's like, what would I gain out of chasing that? You know,
it's interesting, right? Because when I became a next maker, I felt that pressure, and it's what you're talking about, right? And people do idealize these things because they're like, oh, you know, Jazz is a next maker now. That's cool. He's one of us. I remember that line being repeated time and time again on Twitter. Oh, he's one of us. He'll help out, and then you just can't do anything. And now you just feel like you're letting people down. That's a really horrible feeling. And that frustration, you know, Josh, like you saw it. You went through it with me. You know, when I came in, I felt the same. I was like, yeah, I'm going to make change. I'm the right person to be here. I will speak my mind. Other people might not. And then I realized people were speaking their mind. And I was just very quickly like, oh, this is not good. Matt, I would like to hear from you. You are someone I really want to hear about on this topic, because I know it was your overriding goal, right? For like a long time. Certainly when you joined the podcast to become an next maker and, you know, get a logo and everything else. I want to hear about your journey.
Well, I was trying to get in there like 10 minutes ago. So I want to say this, and I probably won't say no more after it. I want to say this in the best way I can possible. With being a next maker, having a logo and all that good stuff, going to community day. On the outside looking in, it seems like you guys were a part of some type of secret society. You know what I'm saying? Some type of exclusive group.
Yeah, I get that.
That only a few people really got a part of. So there was this type of mystique there. There was this type of lore there that I wanted as a content creator, that I wanted as a 2K guy. And I feel, unfortunately, all that lore, all that mystique, all that gold is turned to fool's gold, and it's tarnished.
That's a really good way to put it.
It's tarnished. The reality of it all is that it seems like 2K is literally pumping and investing into you guys with the community days and with the logos. And look, it seems like they're really doing stuff for you guys, but in all reality, it's not. I mean, everything's falling on deaf ears, and it's pretty sad, and if you look at it in hindsight, is it really worth it? I mean, is it really worth it, to put your everything into something and not get anything heard? Is it really worth it to put your name on the line and put all this, because y'all go through so much, and we're not just talking about, the regular stuff. No, we're talking about the DMs. Yeah. The hatred, the ats, the subs, all that, and I feel for a lot of you guys. I knew it, and you was asking to speak about me. I knew it wasn't for me when I saw several next makers literally dropping like flies and leaving the program, from Fit. I can name several names.
Henry.
I can name several names. And I know there's people in here, like such as Floki and whatnot, that's holding it down, but it just isn't there. It just there's no pride in it, because the simple fact that 2K is not investing in us. They're not really caring. I hate to say that, but they really are not really caring about what we, say or think. Yeah. And that goes for everybody. People in the comment section, that goes for you too. I want to let you all know this is 2K for you. If you want to know what 2K is, this is it, and you're going to find out today through this podcast. We're letting it be known today. The story that Mick just said, it really hit me, and what he said before the pod really touched me, and the things that this man, and I'm sure we've all seen in this podcast, but what this man has went through. I was shocked. I was just behooved that they can do him like a great content creator with all the views that he has. I'm not trying to hype you up, but it is what it is. What you told me, Mick, was startling. And I wish
I'll say it now. Basically, when I was dropped, and I got an email from someone who I had never spoken to before, and this was a stage in my life where I was pulling in again 8 million views, and was making money that I will never see again for the rest of my life. Like, it was year worth of teacher salary per month type situation. I had just gotten mortgage approval. I was a couple of weeks away from, I think, going sale agreed on my first home, putting down the deposit on that. So everything was going well. And the email ended with basically them telling me, stop playing 2K and go play a different game. Man. And I was told they had the audacity to say, quit your job, just because I didn't even it wasn't, at this stage, I was 100 times more positive than negative about 2K. This isn't even me now. This was in a happy fun time, Mick, compared to now. They had the audacity to say, just because they wanted to kick me out of their program, which I couldn't have cared less about being in at the time, that I should quit my job. And yeah, they had the audacity to say that. Like, in any other thing in life, if they had said that to somebody else, like if someone had said that, and it was just a throwaway line at the end of an email dropping me. Yeah. And it was I at the time, isn't the first time I've said it publicly. I've said it publicly before. I laughed it off, but I even got contacted by somebody else in 2K who'd obviously heard about that, and they were like, they were shocked that I didn't go absolute apeshit, like, on the timeline, everything about that. And I was like, it was such a, like, it just showed me how tone deaf the people inside the company are to us as creators. Like, they think that it's like, I'll say this, especially at the time, you would have rather been at the time linked with 2K than not linked with 2K, but it made zero difference to any of us. Getting dropped from 2K makes zero difference to anyone. Not being an X-maker makes zero difference. The only difference is, again, is you get to go to community day. That is the only actual positive. And for that, you have to nowadays deal with the frustration of any feedback you try to give being flat out ignored. Basically, we even saw with Lily's tweets, them saying that the content team don't actually want to hear feedback. So there's actually no point in you being there. But again, you get to go to community day. That's the only positive.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, the content team doesn't want to hear feedback.
Well,
according
to
the
tweet,
tweet,
they only want to hear feedback on gameplay. They don't want to hear feedback on rewards, game modes, anything, packs, stuff like that. They only want feedback on like.
So then, who
gameplay.
gets that feedback? If we're not giving it to the content team, who gets that feedback?
Nobody. The void. It goes into the void because, like, especially at the start of the Next Maker program, the program seems to have gone through different stages from like talking to people. There clearly was, obviously, Jazz even saying himself, a stage last year where they were actually taking feedback on board from Myteam guys. But when I was in it initially for the first 6 months or so before the program officially launched, it seemed like the goal of the program was for people to criticize or to talk about the game there rather than publicly. If something went wrong in the game, rather than saying something publicly, say it in there. To basically just almost like to get us to not say anything publicly. That's what it felt like initially, which is why I didn't care when I got kicked out. If I felt like I could actually have made an impact, I would have been a little bit more annoyed at the time.
It's interesting you brought that up because it's one of the things we're going to talk about later. But we can kind of touch on it now. There was a time where they really reached out, and it was weird, right? Because, you know, as Matt said, like, Meech left, Fit left, and there was quite a like instant change. There was just an instant change of things. Suddenly people were asking me my opinion, like we were having calls. They set up something called the Myteam Council, which was like 6 of us, 6 Myteam creators. And we were having an influence. Like, we almost fantasy booked like season 7 last year, right? And then it kind of dawned on me, but it didn't dawn on me until like a month ago what had happened, right? And if you look at the Myteam cycle, it's been the same for the last 2 years. I would argue it's been similar in years before, but they've just refined it now. It starts off accessibility, right? Last year we had trophy case, this year we had the player market. It then goes into this absolute void of just packs, right? Last year we had the RNG seasons, you guys remember? You literally have no choice other than like to grind thousands of games for a card like Mike Phantom or just open packs. Those were your choices. This year we had 100 overall gambling packs. And then we go into the final cycle, which is the hook-in cycle for the following year, right? And that's where we ended last year. And we're getting to that point now. I guarantee you, and this is actually the question I was going to end the podcast with. I guarantee you the next 3 months, it's going to be an absolute banger of a mode. Everything's going to go into the player market. Everything that we want to happen will happen, because I had a call with them this time last year where they said, what does everyone want to happen? I told them, and they did it all. So it will happen, but it's designed to hook you in for next year. And then we'll repeat the cycle again. We will still have a 6 month, the 6 month kind of prime period of the mode, just sort of Christmas to June, is going to be a shit show.
You're saying that, like, it's making me think, like, I feel like too, another reason why it's hard for change to happen is because of like how deep this stuff really runs. Like, even the people that you guys are communicating to, like as next makers, I feel like even they're not really the guys who you really need to be speaking to. Because, like, you know, 2K is just such a big company. You know what I mean? It's like Take-Two Interactive is a big company, and I feel like they just only care about numbers. Because it's like the fact that you said they sat there, listened to you, gave us what we wanted. They could have been doing this from the start, but they just doing whatever the fuck they want. You know, at the end of the day, that's the part that's just like why do we even play this game? And it's like people would still hear us say this, talk about it, and go buy the game next year.
One of the problems is we actually don't know who's making what decisions. And like, there's one thing I remember from last year when basically during the 250 bans, Ty basically went above the head of the devs. Ty talked to somebody that was way higher than them 2K. And this is, again, according to his video. I'm not sure if he said it on the podcast or he said it in a video, but he basically said that, I think it might have been like the CFO or something. He had gone way above the devs. And he was basically told that, because I think Ty said that every single player that qualified has been disqualified. And I think he said he was told it was something like 60% of players had bought MT, but and he was like, if it was any more than that they wouldn't have disqualified everybody. And there was only 2 of the like 50 qualifiers or whatever it was that didn't buy MT. So very clearly either they've lied to Ty, but the people above the devs definitely don't know. So someone probably lied to them to get their way and banning everybody.
I think misinformation is just rife.
Yeah, so it's like whenever, and it's even talking any of the people I've spoken to in 2K, it's like one section of 2K doesn't have a clue what the other section's doing, and the other section, and the other section, and the other section. Like internally, it seems to be an absolute shit show.
They're like they're just not on the same page at all.
No,
like no. That's so bad.
Like the content team, the gameplay team don't seem to be anywhere near the same page.
No,
it seems to be just regardless of what decisions they come to, the process of coming to decisions seems to be a absolute just shit show.
To me,
I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm sorry.
No,
I apologize, man. I just wanted to piggyback. I apologize. So going to what DBG said, people are not on the same page, Josh, too. It's wild that in this mode, nothing correlates together. There's no flow. There's no flow within our season that's happening right now. There's really nothing out there. Case in point. Okay, so today, which is Saturday, you'll see this tomorrow. Whatever the case may be, I might sound confusing, but today they dropped the locker code. I think it was yesterday or today, and it's for Galaxy Opal, I believe, Cat or Jokic. Well, guess who's the deal of the day?
Pink Diamond Cat.
Pink Diamond Cat.
Are you
Ridiculous?
I'm not kidding.
And the locker code expired after like 8 hours or something.
Talk about out of touch.
So many
crazy.
So many people were asleep for the entire duration of the locker code.
Yeah,
that's so embarrassing.
Yeah,
but how is that more embarrassing?
How embarrassing that is.
How is that more embarrassing than 2K advertising all the free game mode rewards until the 17th of May, and then taking them out and replacing them with playoff packs, and then proceeding to put every single one of them in the pack market for VC or MT?
That kid Cunningham was supposed to be free.
He was the only one that wasn't free. He was the only one that wasn't free. Don't
Stop.
No, because you said
no. Klay Thompson, Penny Hardaway, Dwayne Wade,
Ingram.
Yeah,
Brandon Ingram, Will Chamberlain, all of those were free, and then
They were
2K took
supposed to
them
be
out.
free.
2K took them out of being free, and as soon as they got rid of them, they started putting them in for money.
who's making these decisions? Like, who is really the man?
That's the thing. Is like no,
that's like for real.
But like there are some decisions where I'm like, the higher ups don't know enough about this game mode to do that.
It's got to be like it's got to be like a CRO with a plan to drive revenue. That's his only goal, right? Drive revenue. But where that falls flat is that they're taking away so many aspects of the game that won't take away from their revenue, that makes players like myself not want to play it and not want to spend time on it. I'll give you a prime example, right? My favorite player, everyone knows, is Cade Cunningham. No brainer. The card came out, 2-3 months ago now, for his gamble only card, right? I had no way of obtaining that card until this week. If I could have had that card, which once it came out, I bought it, whatever. I don't care. That was the first time I've spent any money on VC in months, because I'm buying my favorite card. It's what I want to do. I want Cade to be my point guard, right? If they would have let me have that card in the player market, even 3-4 weeks after, that isn't going to stop anybody from pulling packs for Ben Simmons, for whatever 100 overall Luka they drop, right? Like, it's not going to stop anyone from pulling packs. What that does is get someone like me to get my Cade Cunningham that's not overpowered, not going to stop anybody but myself from looking for a new point guard. That is what gets me back on the game. I'm not playing the game like that. I've grinded for Glen Rice. That's a whole other story. I'm not playing the game like that. I kind of want to play it now that I have my Cade. Hypothetically, maybe I'll spend some money. I'm not going to, but right, like your average person, okay, I can buy the card I want. Now I can build a team around him. I don't want to build my team around whoever else they
It's almost like that's the entire point of the mode.
My team is done. You don't get to pick your team anymore.
But
you don't.
It's their team. That's a
But
bunch
the
of comments
gambling-
like it's not my team, it's their team.
Ooh,
But
it's
the
their
gambling
team.
aspect of it, though, like, because you know how in order for them to like
That-
make these cars, they have to have a partnership with the NBA. Even the NBA doesn't help it any. It doesn't make it any better. They're pushing
Facts.
gambling like heavy. Like every ad break, every halftime break, you got Chuck and Kenny Smith talking about, oh, this is what I think is gonna
Showing
happen
the
today in
odds
this
on,
game
during the game
on FanDuel,
wild.
and it's like, of course, that's gonna trickle down to the game. They need the contract with the NBA to be able to, put these players out. So it's like, even if we would try to figure it out in the game, the NBA is not making it any better. So it's just like I lost all hope for this game, man. I lost all hope for the game mode.
One of the scariest things about this is obviously Myteam and 2K is not the it's not as big as FIFA as far as the game mode goes, not as big as Foot. And also obviously gambling's only become new into the United States, so there's not that many studies on it. But if you look at studies in Europe of FIFA packs are like a huge gate. Kids opening FIFA packs is a massive gateway into becoming gambling. If they become addicted to FIFA packs, it's a huge gateway to becoming a gambling addict later on in life. And the fact that like it's not even a case where like me myself, when I used to play FIFA and 2K as a kid, I would never open packs. It's now a case where it's like you have to open packs. So there's no even escaping it for kids. Kids playing this game mode, there's no escaping opening packs.
Mhm. I believe that it is so we're getting to a state where we're conditioning not just kids but everybody. We're making this normal, and it's not normal to rip packs, especially for the price they're asking for. Okay, don't get me started with the VC and the prices. I mean, come on now, and the MT now that they're the proverbial plug. It's just all messy, in the grand scheme of things, man. And this mode could have been so much better. I'm not even going to say what they, I'm not even going to start with that because we can start a whole nother conversation. But with that being said, man, my team is just gone downhill. It's a shitstorm for no reason at all. I remember Jazz used to say they could just take the layups, and those layups, man, have turned to half court shots. Now 3/4 shots,
That's
full court
such
shots.
a great analogy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Whenever we sell, there was a time where I could sell shoes and rip a pack. Now shoes are only 50 MT. Are you serious right now for gold shoes? Are you serious? I believe. Are you serious right now?
Unless you are grinding one of two modes, which is unlimited nonstop or salary cap nonstop. And if you're doing that, it means you're not grinding agendas for any of the other stuff. Unless you are grinding those modes, you make less MT this year than you did last year. So for anyone saying all this stuff, saying like you make way more MT, you only do it in two modes. Because last year, you could get a 3-ball drop in TTO. And in that 3-ball drop, you could land in 3,000 MT, a diamond shoe pack, and a badge pack, and earn 4,500 MT from that one game.
You know what's funny? I find the the year-to-year comparisons. I find that stuff funny. Shall I tell you why? Which game last year? Do you know how many versions of my team we had just in 1 year? Like even this year, how many versions of my team have we had? This is the problem, right? Like when you guys talk about like who's culpable, everyone is involved in that process. Because what the answer is there is no business plan. Whoever the kind of, you said the CRO, the chief revenue officer, whatever. If it's that person, the most chaotic mind I've ever seen in a large business. So last week you backed one philosophy, whatever, player market. Next week it's auction house. Next week it's gamble only packs. Now it's RNG, let's keep it that way. Now we're getting a free card every day for an entire season. We're going to recycle rewards next season. Like, it's just chaos. They cannot string, like, 2 seasons together without someone panicking financially and pivoting this entire mode. I can't think of a consistent season to season where it's happened. I remember analysing last year, and the way we described every season felt like we were describing a different game.
Yeah, and the one thing is, I will say, like looking at last year to make this point, you know what they did with Stellar Packs?
No,
you know the way everyone.
I forgot about that. Wait. Game mode for 2 weeks.
No. Do you remember what they did the next week? People talk about Stellar Packs that it was good odds for 1 week. They put the same odds the next week, but they released the worst packs in history. Do you remember those alternate reality packs?
Yeah,
but also rigged the opals so that you only got Klay Thompson. Or there was another bad one. So they rigged. and Pau Gasol. They rigged the odds of the opals. They put in troll opals, but they did the same thing by putting in these like plus packs. But I'm guessing alternate reality sold so badly that they said, "Oh, this doesn't work. Let's scrap it."
It's just bonkers.
They did 2 weeks in a row, and then they just got rid of it.
You just described a 4-week process where the game mode changed every week.
Yeah,
that's what you just described. You know, it's funny because EA get a lot of heat, right? FIFA's like really under pressure right now, right? They're doing some shit they shouldn't be doing. But the one thing that I will say with like a mode like FIFA is you just know what you're getting. You're getting Weekend League, you're getting SBCs. Like, the game mode is the game mode. If you look at the game mode in week 1 of the year, it's the same game mode at the end of the year. Usually it's way more generous because they're still trying to do the hooking stuff. But it's the same game mode. Myteam is just literally just seems like someone's like imagination. They wake up one day and go, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. And if it makes a ton of money, they'll double down on it until it doesn't work. And whether that's a week or 3 months, that's the strategy. We'll do this until it doesn't work.
Like, you can even say hypothetically, right? Let's pretend like this gamble only content is making them a ton of money, right? Just for hypotheticals, let's say they're up 50% in revenue after they've rolled this out compared to the player market. That in itself is cool, but if you're going to drive away the better half of your community while you do it, not to play like armchair corporate analysis here, but like that's not a good long-term strategy. If your money's up right now, guess what? Them people that are ripping those $1,000, $10,000 worth of packs every week, they're eventually going to catch on and get tired of doing that. Whether their money's up right now, long-term wise, it's not sustainable. I guarantee you that. There's not going to be people doing the same song and dance for very long.
Do you mean the people that just got burnt by Kobe?
Yeah.
Man.
It's that might be the only way to stop the ads. That might be the only way to stop the whales is by not giving them their end goal. The thing they dangled in front of the whales for the entire year, they didn't give it. And like not even like obviously whatever the hell happened, surely 2K knew more than an hour in advance.
Yeah.
100%. It doesn't even matter. People started arguing about, do they have the rights? Do they have this? Do they have that? It literally does not matter what the reason is. The reason could be Vanessa Bryant showed up at their doorstep and said, don't drop this card. The way they handled it is the issue. That is the issue. It's bad enough as it is. The way they handled it is really where my problem lies with it. Announcing it not on Twitter where everyone sees it, in a Discord that there's maybe a couple hundred, couple thousand members, quietly with the chat GPT response.
Where they didn't even mention what it was. They literally said our reward has changed.
Yeah. If they lost his rights, there's a better way to handle it. They didn't though.
Do what EA did with Maradona. Literally, when they lost Maradona's rights, you logged into the game for FIFA. It flashed up on the screen due to an issue. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like due to an issue with the estate of Diego Maradona. We're no longer allowed to put his card in Ultimate Team in packs. We hope to get this resolved soon, but until now, his price ranges are fixed and he will no longer be pulled in packs. However, if you have the card, nothing will change.
Well, it's ironic. The very same day they released that in EA Madden, okay, Barry Sanders, my GOAT, Detroit Lions legend, said on Twitter, he released a statement saying that he will not be a part of EA no more. He would not be in Madden no more. And that second, they stopped making all Barry Sanders cards. The last one we have is the 94 in Madden, which I'm gonna miss. He's my GOAT. But the way they, like Jacob just said, the way they went about it in a Discord where not everybody has Discord. And I know why they did it, because if it was on Twitter, all hell would break loose. The comments and everything they would get, it would be crazy. But for the way they did and the way it went about it is just really ragged, really wrong. It just shows what this company's all about. It just shows how bad 2K really can get and how
unprofessional, and tasteless.
The map though isn't that even worse though? Like, you say like, okay, they don't want to put it on Twitter because it was going to be a fire, right?
Right.
But as a business, you make mistakes, right? My business has made mistakes. And what we do is we own those mistakes. We go, right, what's the best case scenario we can get out of this, right? Like, okay, we might have lost a bit of reputational damage, but let's just make sure everyone's right. That's the first thing that we look to do. to make sure everyone involved in the situation is in a good place, right? So if it's an employee or a client or whatever, we'll talk to them first, make sure they're okay. That's a starting point, and then we look to build the solution afterwards, right? So you make contact. So what they did is they had two choices, right? They had the thing that they did, which is reveal it secretly, which first of all just looks shady. Okay, It is a public Discord, but it's not a social channel. It's not an official channel. It's Discord. It's a chat group. That's what it is. So they released it on there without making any public statement. And I don't believe a Discord statement is a public statement, because you need access to the Discord to see it. A tweet, anyone could have seen, whether they're following them or not, right? So it is secretive. The other option was they control the narrative. And that's what they gave up by doing it the way they did it. Because that stuff was going to get posted on Twitter anyway.
Yeah.
It was just going to get posted by the people that hate
They just ran away from accountability. That's all they did. It's like they didn't want to be held accountable for the mistake they made. Like you're too big of a company.
To a worse place. Then their accountability still comes, but it comes from a worse place. Because you've got people on Twitter posting it for the first time, so everyone can see it.
That's how out of touch they are, you know, because they feel like Discord is the pulse of the community. Excuse me, Mick. They feel like this. It's not. No. I'm not even in there for real. You know what I'm saying? That's the type. Listen, everybody. This is not an expose. This is the truth right here. This is what 2K does. Whenever they go in the red by 7%, they go ahead and take all the attainable cards and make them unattainable. That's what 2K is. Okay. I can best describe it as this. We don't know who the man is, but we know somebody's making a whole lot of money based off our microtransactions, based off our dollars, you know, based off our time, you know. And if I am a collector, you know what I'm saying, which I am, you know, I would be raising all types of hell, you know. And I wanted to go into it, and I'm gonna give it to Mick. You know, it's a shame. I think it's a damn shame, the fact that you can't even get out of the option pack, the Yao that everybody would love to have, or even a chance to get a Tim Duncan or the card that we just got. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, you know, what 2K's logic is.
Can I jump in on that? One second, Mick. That's the worst part of all of this for me, by the way. That's what, whatever happened with Kobe happened, right? Something would have happened. If 2K had the choice, they would have just dropped Kobe, right? That's a fact. Something happened that prevented them doing it, likely very last minute, which stopped them communicating it in time. But then they just chose to communicate it in a
What
really
do you
shit
think
way.
happened? Because everybody still wondered.
I kind of know.
Oh,
to be honest with you, so I'm just not going to get involved. I'm not going to get involved.
I just threw it out. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know for sure, but it's been hinted at me pretty strongly. Either way, the worst thing that they did is what happened after. To me, that's the worst thing. Okay, not putting Yao in the 100 overalls is one thing, but then the next 100 overall that you released after switching the reward is Tim Duncan with Patty Base. Are you taking the piss? Like, what a slap in the face. All right, I didn't get my Kobe. I got 100 overalls. I can't get the best one. But a week later, this is what I mean by content. What does it mean? The entire definition of 100 overall changed. Now it's a meta card. Now it's almost endgame, right? Like, the entire definition. If I had done collector, I am sick. And I'm more sick because of the Tim Duncan drop than I am from the Kobe situation. Because I think that was easier to fix. But then to make it even worse by changing the whole definition and creating arguably the best card in the game that they can't.
It's almost like they want everyone to be upset though. Like it's like they're literally trolling us. Like they're literally trolling the entire community, and I don't get at what expense. I don't know what they gain from it, but it just can't be real, man. It just
not
really
putting Yao in there is just like a telltale sign that they're not whatsoever worried about being consumer friendly. If they actually felt like they dropped the ball on this Kobe situation, they would have put Yao in that pack. Look, there was 11 100 overalls out at the time that this happened. They put 10 of those in the option pack and left out the one that is clearly the only card that if someone were to get that instead of Kobe, they might say, you know what, that is actually a pretty good deal. I'm all right with this. You know what I mean? And honestly, even then though, Kobe's Kobe. Kobe is a different entity in the world of basketball. People like Kobe is a different thing. Kobe is Kobe, right? So like, yeah, there's definitely people out there who spent a lot of money trying to get Kobe, where if they got Yao, they'd be like, okay, this is stupid. But there would have been a group of people who at least were like, That's a fair trade-off.
I'll let it slide.
There's no one who feels that way now because those 100 overalls, like, look, Giannis and Kareem, they're good, whatever, but like they're not so good that you feel like that's fair compensation.
Yeah.
They'll be outdated. They already kind of are. I mean,
it's also multiple years of. What was it Rashard Lewis last year? Am I making that up?
Yeah. No, they didn't even have enough cards in the game. Last year was even just as big of a shit show. They didn't have enough cards in the game, so they had to go back and get bracket busters. They had to go back and drop bracket buster option packs to give people random diamond cards from like February to fill in the gap, so people could then get Rashard Lewis, who was obviously just a clone of the dozen other end games that were out.
This is not a serious game.
I mean, it's really not. It's so dumb because look, like I'm here doing this. It's still a part of this community because what Myteam was, I loved, man. That got me through the pandemic. I've been playing it since it came out. I've played video games since I was 4 years old. My best experience playing video games in my 27-year-old life was at peak Myteam. It was great. It's the game made for me. When Ultimate Team came out in FIFA, I said, I can't wait until there's an NBA version of this. I was the first person to play Myteam the day it came out. This is the game mode for me. What was Myteam was the game mode for me. What is now, it's not. Like, it's not for anybody. It's not even for people who have thousands of dollars, because if you have thousands of dollars, you can throw it at it and still not get the cards you want.
Shout out to Troy Dam.
Look, he spent 10 grand and didn't get his cards. Like, it's crazy. I don't understand it.
Ironically, he did that for Kobe, didn't he?
No, who was it that he was trying to pull?
No, it's Kareem, MJ.
I thought it was Kobe. It was Kareem, then Kobe, and then he got MJ.
Wild West was the big one. Wild West that had Shaq 100 overall, and then Opal Kobe, right? Mm-hmm.
So he spent 10 grand trying to get Kobe, and then the next Kobe just wasn't available. This is a shit show. I'm sorry. This is a full-on embarrassment.
Like, it's gotten bad when it's like, obviously the MMG video's out, but like so many, I know a lot of the FIFA guys. And like it used to always be a case of whenever your main game mode wasn't, like we'd always say FIFA was better. They'd always prefer Myteam. This was like up until 22. And then I remember talking to Chaza a few months ago, and he was like, Myteam is the worst Ultimate Team game mode ever.
He hates it.
Yeah.
Like
he hates it.
He just can't play it. He's like, this is the single worst. Like FIFA guys are looking at this game mode and they're like, this is the worst game mode ever. Madden guys, MMG are now looking at Myteam and being like, you know it's bad when like everyone, if you play one game almost exclusively, every other game is going to look better. You know it's bad when people that play another game exclusively are looking at your game and being like, oh my God, yours is the worst. We thought ours was bad. Ours isn't even that bad. Yours is so much worse. You know it's bad when that's happening. They
dropped the ball with Chazza as well. It's funny because I put them in touch with him, right? And at the time when I put them in touch with him, like he played Myteam. And now he's blowing up, right? He's doing the Gut the Turf stuff, like with the Sidemen and all that stuff. Like he's going to the moon this year. And they've just missed the boat, and now he hates the boat. so that's another opportunity missed. I have a question for all of you, actually. How important do you guys think it is that 2K repair their relationship with the bigger content creators? We know the community is vital, right? Because they need to be susceptible.
What do you define as bigger content creators?
Henry, Ty, JC, Splash, yourself, just the bigger Myteam content creators.
How important?
They don't have a positive relationship with any of them.
I don't think it happens. Like, as in, I don't think it's important. I think as far as if we want to get Myteam back to the Myteam community, Myteam, everything back to the way it was in 22 and earlier, it is important. But I also don't think that that's what 2K want. So if it depends on what way you're asking that question from. I don't think any of us necessarily want to have a better relationship with 2K. I don't think they want to have any relationship with us either, outside of them maybe with Henry.
Mm-hmm. So the question I was going to ask, or really the comment I was going to say was, shouldn't they work on the community as a whole first? No offense. You know, I know you asked the questions about all the bigger creators and whatnot, but I mean, what is the state of the community with 2K right now? I mean, there's no trust. There's no trust, you know, at all. Same goes for content creators. There's no trust. They don't want us to build. It seems like they don't want us to build any type of content. That's why I hate to bring back 23, but you know, ever since, you know, sniping's gone, there's really no content. It's really dry. I mean, that's, you know, one particular type of, you know, content, but it was a major part. And today, you know, gameplays is cool, but how can you make gameplay videos of cards you can't even get? Hello.
Yeah, content is kind of
Exactly.
impossible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't. Me and you talk like what weekly, right? Like I hear what you're doing. Like you're grinding another 30 hours to get like God. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I say it to him every week. I don't know how you do it. Like, how do you make content on this game?
Because it's my job and that's it. Like, I would love a lot of people when they talk about like look at my content, they're like, oh, all you do is complain about the game, and it's like, yeah, well, I have to put videos out. Like, I have to gain a certain amount of views to get a certain amount of revenue to put food on the table, which means I have to release a certain amount of videos considering what I'm averaging right now. And if there's nothing positive to make a video about, I'm going to make a video about something negative.
What scale of 1 to 10? How much do you enjoy making those videos?
Rant videos.
No, they're like I built a squad in the week videos.
Like 2. Like
it's really living.
It's just the same thing over and over again. Because like as someone who doesn't like to grind too much in Unlimited, because there's no budget cards now. Like I used to, even when I wasn't heavy on Unlimited, even in 23 and 22, I would literally just play the game a little bit, use all the budget cards, spend about 30k MT a week, which I would easily earn during the week, get to use all the budget cards and be happy out for the weekend with new players for every single week. And now it's like, even if I'm just playing on for myself, in order to access the content, I've got to grind 10 hours of bold agendas, 3 hours of agendas for an freaking deluxe pack, which you're probably going to get a card you don't even want to use. And then that's just to use like that's to just use 4 new cards a week. Like if I was to use 10 new cards every single week, that would cost, and if you're selling one by one, if you had 10,000 MT, you could buy and sell, just the same cards and use 10 new cards every single week.
Yeah.
If you want to use 10 new cards every single week, you got to grind 20 hours of this game a week. Instead of an hour, it's about 20 hours. So what I like in my team, and you'll see it from my channels throughout the years, my favorite part of my team is trying out new cards, seeing what cards I enjoy using, memeing about these cards, using like obscure teams, using cards that no one would ever use. But now it's like, I can't do that because I can't get these cards and I don't have enough MT to try out these cards because they all cost so much and I don't get lucky sometimes in a pack.
Do you know what's ironic about that? It was the whales that used to feed us. Do you know that? Like, I only had this thought process yesterday.
In fairness, the whales used to feed us and Coincides did too.
To an extent, yes. But in terms of like budget cards, it was the whales, right? Like on a Friday, the whales start ripping packs, and then the market gets flooded with cheap opals or cheap pink diamonds. DBG picks him up, makes a budget card video, right? That's how it works. That's actually the major flaw of the player market that I didn't pick up until, like I said, just now. Because those whales are still ripping packs, but there's no secondary value for the community anymore. That's the ones that drive the prices down.
That's like the importance of the community. Like everybody plays a role. Because I'm not gonna lie, when they got rid of the auction house, I was like, man, fuck the snipers, man. I don't care. Like I don't snipe. I don't care about that.
Is that the
but
first
like you made a really,
huh? No, was it
no, I might have.
Carry on.
Oh yeah, but I was. Oh shit, the F-bomb. Okay. But yeah, like you know, with the sniping and everything, I never like you said, you made a good point. I never really thought about it like that. Like the guys who's ripping a whole bunch of packs are the reason there are budget cards to begin with.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was on Instagram the other day and I didn't even respond to the comment. They're talking about this guy, he posts like, you know, new cars that drop. He called a 75,000 MT card a budget card. And then even referred to 100,000.
This is a very controversial topic you're bringing up.
And I was like, I said, those aren't budget cards. What are you talking about? You just play some unlimited. No. Unlimited, investing into unlimited, there's nothing budget friendly about that.
But first of all, just playing unlimited is crazy.
You still got to play 15 games of unlimited. It's still 7.5 hours of unlimited to get like.
That's how he worded it. He said, oh, you just got to play unlimited. Just got to play. No. I have to try. I have to focus every cell, every atom in my body into this game. Otherwise, I will lose by 1 point or possibly 20. There's no in between. There's no in between. So 1 point or 20. Like literally no in between.
But I did it the other day. I tapped out. I literally grinded like 12,000 unlimited points over the space of like 3 or 4 days, by the way, to get Glenn Rice. Because I was like, look, if I'm going to play the game for the rest of the year, I'm going to get Glenn Rice, just play co-op. That was it. That was my plan. Right? I was like, let me get into it. I stopped I stopped for a week and then picked it up again. Man, I played 3 games. I punched my desk, which I have not done for a very, very, very long time. And it was because 2 of my bigs fumbled the same rebound full game. Just to let you know, I punched my desk and that was it. So I'd already put like 20, 30 hours into getting this card. I just tapped out. I physically couldn't play it for another second. It's soul destroying.
I just got that Shay card and I thought like, because Shay's my favorite card. I originally wanted the All-Star one, which don't even get me started on what they did with that, where you had to lock in and then have a chance at pulling one of the opals. So you couldn't really control who you was getting even after you locked in. I was like, okay, I'll wait till they make it free. Then I found out he was never coming to the player market. I had to pull him. That's why I stopped playing for 2 months.
By the way,
40.
Sorry, you just said something there, Josh, and you were saying if they make it free. There's now a thing in the community calling player market cards free cards because, you know, you grinded for your MT, so therefore they're free.
Oh my.
Absolutely
like
not.
it's now actually a thing that people are calling player market cards free cards.
If you're saying that, you're an amoeba. I'm sorry, like
there are a section of brainwashed people in this community, like legitimately brainwashed.
I'm going to be honest. Shilling for this game is hard work. You're putting some work.
I don't like the level 40 thing though. Like with the 2 different cards, I feel like I get it. Like people are paying for the pass, but like, bro, it's season 6. Why the hell are you giving us a dark matter with a quick release? Like, come on, man. It's so petty.
Do you know they lied about it, Josh? The pro.
They lied about it.
Do you know the lie?
No.
So they said this is one of many lies that we're going to cover. Let's start with this one. So they said in the blog that the pro pass won't give any advantage, like competitive advantage.
I will say
they first started, right? They
said it won't give you any advantage in my player, which I hate to defend 2K here, but I think
Jacob,
they did word it.
Jacob, they did. They also did say when in the blog for the player for the Pro Pass that the Pro Pass was an alternate card art version of the card.
Okay,
they did say that, but they did only
so it should be the
specifically
same animation.
They did only specifically say no gameplay advantage for my player, but they also referred to it as an alternate card art version.
Yeah, not a different card.
Not a different card.
Release is a different card. Change the whole card completely.
But we all know what it is, though. You have the version that you can pay for. You have the version you can grind for.
Which one's better?
Which one's exactly? It comes down to that. I got to say this, and this is completely off subject, but every time Josh speaks, man, he's in ASMR mode right now. I got that microphone.
Yeah.
Plus,
I just drive time with Josh,
that is
man.
The audio.
You should do
soothing.
That. It is. You should do that.
Right. There was one other thing I wanted to do, but it's quite a, it's a time consuming thing. I don't know if you guys saw. I put a poll up the other day. Do you guys see it? Got
was it the out of 10
survey?
Thing? Yeah.
So, in my time, speaking directly to UK, I've always had the feeling that I'm not representing the community. That's how I'm made to feel, right? When I get ignored or whatever, it's just Jazz complaining. So I was like, let's find out. Let's just put it out into the ether. Let's just see what everyone says. So it becomes fact instead of opinion. So I have the average scores on all of these things. I've actually sat down and worked this out. Yes, I need to get a life, but that's what I've done. We're gonna discuss these things, and then I want you guys to estimate the score, the overall score, and then I'll tell you exactly what it was. So over 100 people filled in that survey on Twitter. So it's pretty good demographic. There's casuals, there's whales, there's next makers, good spectrum, content creators. Some people didn't answer them seriously. I don't know, DBG, you put in like 3 answers that were words, so I couldn't count those.
Is this a joke? Surely is this a joke is 0. They exist is also probably 0, and this is a game, not a casino. For pack odds should probably be all 0s.
I think I put them all as 0s. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's do this. We can chat about this a little bit. Player market, let's be honest, it was a lie. This one we can agree on, Jacob. Can we fact check that this is correct, that it was a lie that they said the player market would make cards more accessible than ever?
Yeah, they 100%. I mean, that's like I think the first sentence of the blog, like is the headline.
Okay,
Like
that's
they
verified.
literally said the only cards that wouldn't be in the player market are reward cards, and they started off the year by a Shaq card, which is lock in for a lock in.
As you know, Mick, me and you have had some conversations around this. I didn't mind the player market when it first happened. It suited the way I played the game. For the first sort of couple of months, I felt like I could get most cards by just playing the game the way I wanted to play it. So I didn't mind it, to be honest. Now it's not a thing. Like it's just completely irrelevant to the mode. So, any guesses? First of all, any input? Anyone want to give their thoughts on the player market, the lie, all of it?
I can start real quick. It's a shame because, coming from 23, this is why I missed the auction house, man. And I was playing, and Jazz was in there in that stream I had where I was playing 23. We was just running back how just the memories. But that game was bad. It was awful, but I miss it because certain things was cool. Yeah. But the fact that they said that cards would be more attainable, and then just again renege on that and lie, just makes it so down bad. The intentions of the player pack market was there, but from day one, and I remember doing a video about it from day one, the prices and everything to me, everything just seems so tremendously high. I mean, the Twitter was if you can remember on day one of the drop, it was a firestorm on Twitter, Reddit, everywhere else. It really was. I remember looking at DBG's tweets, man, and everything
We're fucked.
Yeah,
we're fucked. I repeat, we're fucked.
You were on that train. I actually owe you an apology, Matt. About this because first podcast of the year, me and Jacob actually kind of teamed up on this as well. If you go back and watch it, but you kind of said the player market was going to be a shit show, and we kind of said it ain't.
Yeah,
like because we liked, I guess, the version of it that existed that day, but didn't age well.
No, it did not. It aged
aged like milk.
I guess I didn't really consider that they would, take away the better half of cards from it and make them gamble only. Because look, like we were talking about a minute ago with the Pro Pass stuff, I don't even care. I'm not even the type of guy who's like, no microtransactions. Like, look, Pro Pass $10, reasonable. If I can buy my Cade for $20, reasonable. Where I have the problem is where you have to gamble thousands of dollars and hope that you might get the card you want. That's my problem. I'm cool with spending a little money on this game. That's fine by me. Like, let me buy the card I want. Let me save up for the card I want and buy them in the auction house. Don't make me sit there and just rip packs on end. My wallet stops eventually. I'm not rich at all. My wallet stops eventually, and I'm not going to put something in and then get no return. But spend $100 and then don't pull the card you want. Now what? You just wasted $100. If I spend $100 and I get the cards I want, fair trade. Like, that's my mindset. It's pretty simple.
Do you remember the prices of sets? Like, it was $50 to lock in the Wemby set. 50.
Yeah.
And that gave you 3 diamonds, which were the highest tiers at the time that you could get in the player market. It was $50. It is now $60 to lock in bums for a likely Joe Johnson.
Those are not equal chance either.
No, they're not.
Can I give you a quick rundown on the sets I've locked in? I did the Mastro set. I got Hito Turkoglu. I did the Nebula set. I got Bradley Beal. I did the Vortex set. I got Vince Carter. Vince Carter's okay. But look,
everyone got Vince Carter.
Right. They are obviously, like, if you walked in the Nebula set, you have a much higher chance at Bradley Beal than Wemby. It's crazy.
The Patrick Ewing set, Gladiator, when everyone got Patrick Ewing.
That's right, Gladiator. Yeah.
If it was an equal chance, better yet, an option pack. Option pack.
Dude, option pack is a huge solution. That's an immediate solution.
It's not even a good solution, but it's a lot better. It's bad where it's like, if it started off as an option pack, we'd be really angry. But because of what they've actually done, an option pack is so much better than what they've got.
Right.
It's funny.
I want to say this, Rook. I'm sorry. I feel like it's the lesser of two evils, and I know we have not brought this up, but with the 100 overall situation, I feel like there's a lot of rippers. I'm talking about like legit rippers out there, not just even consecrators, just regular people, man, out there ripping. And I feel like if you complete a certain set from Pink Diamond all the way up to all the Dark Matters, you are owed that 100 overall. I'm just saying, if you are really ripping like that, you're owed it. I'm not advocating nothing or anything of that matter, but if you're really ripping like that, you should get that desired 100 overall. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. You know, ever since it's great. This is my team's logic. At the best part at the of the NBA season, which is the All-Star break, they decided to do all this, and ever since then, it's just been a hellstorm. It's just been crazy. This is a different type of. Yeah. This is not the my team that none of us know. Nobody in the chat knows for real. This right here is a different type of my team, and it needs to be called, and that's exactly what we're doing here today. You know,
just on that, people are ripping as well. Yeah. Like my unlimited run, the squads, bro. The squad. If you've got a good squad, you're playing a better squad. Like it is nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also taking 10 minutes to find a game, and you're only playing the same 15 people.
Oh,
so it could just be 15 people that are ripping.
True, but I mean, I burnt all my MT right when the All-Star packs dropped because I just stopped playing the game, and I did stop playing the game for 2 months. But I pulled LeBron and one other.
You got D-Rob, didn't you?
Yes, that was the other one. So I got those two, but it was 2 million MT worth of packs. And then on my unlimited run, I kind of worked my way up to 400k again. So I pulled a box on, I don't even know what they were called, the Kawhi packs. And in a 20 box, I got Kawhi and Chris Bosh. So obviously I've got Shea as well. So my overall is pretty high. Man, they're full Dark Matter squads, like paid Dark Matter squads, 100 overalls. They're not rare. They're not rare in modes like Unlimited. The people that are playing Unlimited are spending money on this game right now. And
under the assumption, like say it is a ton of people ripping packs and 2K's money is way up, right? Is that worth it long term? So that people like Terrence Ross is saying don't open packs. Is it worth it that Chris London is making his first Myteam tweet in 4 years to say, wow, 2K's really gone downhill? Is it worth it that there's podcasts like this? Is it worth it that under every tweet they make, there's people on their ass? Look, I know not everybody who plays this game is online. If the revenue's up, is it worth it having upped revenue for 3 months to drive away this many people? Like that's 2K, really it.
Have 2K ever made a long-term decision?
No, they don't. They change their mind on everything week after week. That's why I thought this. My theory originally was when this All-Star stuff happened, they were trying to drain everyone's MT from the PG glitch, and I thought we'd be back to reality by now. I thought we'd be back to reality by season 6 for sure. You know, I thought, okay, 2K is trying to drain everyone's pockets for a week or two to get everybody back down to the point where they have no MT to kind of, you know, work out the PG situation and all that stuff. But no, this is the longest term decision they made this year is to make special inserts gamble only. That's the longest term decision they made. This is the most consistent thing that's happened all year.
Yeah. It has to be working to some extent. It has to be financially, and no other way is it working.
I think short term, if it is, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't have switched it back, but if hypothetically, if they're up, is it worth it to drive away everybody?
There's no. I will say it's like we say it's definitely working. But there is also an argument to be made that they can't go back from it this year.
But that's the question we were going to end the podcast on. They might be thinking
that they can't go back.
That's the question we're going to end the podcast on, because I want to say that, but I'm not going to.
No, like I don't. I think they can go back. But my logic is maybe they're thinking. You can even see with them putting in, for example, if they've made you spend 75, if they made you gamble for all these cards, that they can't just put them in the player market because they think, oh, people are going to get angry, even though it would be a much smaller percentage of people that get angry. Maybe they'd piss off their whales. Maybe they're thinking if they bring them in the player market, they're going to piss off their whales.
Yeah.
So, like, they're cool with pissing off all their non-whales for the entire year, but they don't want to piss off their whales.
They've just pissed off their whales, right, with the Kobe situation, first of all. Second of all, it really comes down to the community, because we are the most forgiving community you've ever seen. Like, the reason that they do pivot in the way they did, like last year was a great example. Season 6 was dog shit. Like as a game mode can be for an entire season, season 6 was as bad as it gets. But then they dropped season 7, and everyone forgot. Everyone forgot. It's not like, oh, we remember that thing, but we're gonna move on. It never happened anymore, unless it was things like this podcast or DBG talking about it in a video. No one will remember it happened, and that's what concerns me. Is the question of like, can they win our trust back? How easy is it to win our trust back? It's not on them, because they will do. They will make this game more consumer friendly over the next 2 months. We know that, right? To hook people in for next year. The question is, how gullible are we?
Pretty fucking gullible, I'll tell you that much. Pretty fucking gullible.
I mean, I thought the apology tour would have happened by now, and I would have thought it would have sucked people back in, but
I mean, it looked like they were doing it for Cinco de Mayo, and then they put Wild West packs in there, so it wasn't even a guaranteed pink diamond.
Like you said, it's a
these little things don't get mentioned. These little things that are so stupid. They just keep happening. They don't even get attention because it's expected.
It's like you said, this is dirty pool, man. They're greedy to the 25th power, man. And it makes you, just wonder. And I guess I had to come to Jesus moment, or whatever you want to call it, moment with myself. And I had to ask myself, man, when was my team cooked for me? I ain't talking about nobody but me. When was it really cooked for me? And I asked to ask myself that question, and I knew it. I saw the writing on the wall a long time ago, but me being a little gullible said, you know what, I'm gonna give it a good old college try. Yeah, golly weegers. I'm gonna go ahead and oh my gosh,
golly weegers.
Yeah, golly weegers. They done blessed me with a 100 overall Giannis. I'm gonna go ahead and and try it again and all this. And I'm gonna say this, y'all, it's not worth it. The state of, I remember it was President Ford back in the 70s talking about the State of the Union in America, and he said the State of the Union is not good. And for a very freaking long time, the state of my team has not been good. And I respect everybody in this podcast. I respect everybody, that speak about my team and has stood on business concerning my team. I respect you. But it has to be said, something really must give. I don't know if it's an auction house. I don't know if it's just a complete reset of the mode. Hell, I don't even know if there's going to be, I'm sure there's going to be my team in 25. But the way things going, if they continue, as you said, to piss off the whales and a lot of the core people, that they're the core consumers, is there really going to be a my team? I don't know if we've even addressed that today, but what is the future of my team in the grand scheme of things? Because it cannot continue to be like this, y'all. It really cannot. The pay to play, the gambling or the betting or whatever you want to call it, it cannot continue.
It's not sustainable.
It is not for nobody.
It's not sustainable at all.
Troy Dan, who makes, I know he makes a lot of money doing this. It's not even, he can do it, but of course he won't. You know what I'm saying? It's not sustainable for no one.
Mentally,
like
emotionally, financially, and like you said something about like when you realize, you thought to yourself, when did you realize you were really like cooked in this game mode? Yeah. I think for me, it was a lot earlier than I even give it credit for. Like, I really feel like I just been fighting through, because it just feels like I've been dragging my feet since about like, I want to say 21. Yeah. I want to say about 21. Like after I had missed on D-Rob, like that last few months I played, it was cool.
That made your career.
The game. Yeah, but I played so much at that point, I wasn't having fun. Like I stopped having fun at that point. It's like,
yeah, the OP grinds that kicked in 21. That's where I really started to struggle at times.
That's when I was like and then when I started taking the breaks in between there, 22. Yeah, it's just like after 21, I was cooked, bro. And it's like I kept going on, and now I'm overcooked.
Yeah.
I need to say something, Jazz, please. I feel like, and I can't speak for anybody here, but what he said really just hit me. this mode, man, used to be full of pride. And I believe I said that a little bit earlier, but where is the pride in Myteam? Like, where is, and I know this is emotional appeal, but where is it really at? I remember back in 2021, you know what I'm saying? Even before I was streaming, watching, JD and watching, Mick and watching the Troy Dans of the world and HTB and whatnot. It just seemed like, there was so much pride in watching y'all, you know what I'm saying? There was a time where people went out and, for First of the World and, and got grinds done, like CP the Doc out there, I was a grinder. I know this is a completely different subject, but I just want to say this, man, where is the pride? And it all comes down to one thing, and that is acknowledgement. 2K has failed in this. I've always said that they've been consistent in being inconsistent, but they failed in this is acknowledging the community and also accountability, but acknowledging, us. And that right there has took a lot of the spirit of Myteam out. It goes deeper than the player pack market. It's deeper than the raggedy gameplay, because it is raggedy. They need to fix that. It goes deeper than the less than 2% odds. You know what I'm saying? It starts with community, and they have failed.
Yeah, they've turned their backs completely.
They actively, it went from 2K20 to probably 22, midway through, or not even 2K20 to 2K22. 2K, as far as the devs were concerned, actively almost being a part of the community, being in streams, looking for what people wanted, constantly, whether they were next makers or not, being in contact with creators, constantly looking to get involved with the community and getting the community involved with things. And then it's like with the Pau Gasol tweet, when they unfollowed us all, everything flipped. And now it got to the stage now in 2K24 where they actively don't want to. If you look at Mike Stauffer, his one Myteam tweet this year, other than during launch week, was him saying that basically that Nick Claxton wasn't meant to have had his 3-pointer changed.
Yeah.
He tweeted once. He used to be in my stream every single
almost
every day.
Yeah.
He'd ask people what cards they wanted to come out.
He's tweeted once about this game in a year.
I mean, I haven't played Devil's Advocate much, and this isn't a defense either. What are they going to say to us? This is the other thing. I mean, what can they possibly say? If anyone from 2K pops up, you said it lost pride was the word you used. Man,
yeah.
It's the cool factor that's gone. That's the thing that's gone. It used to be cool to get a logo. It used to be cool to be good at this game. It used to be cool to have a good squad.
You're right.
DBG made me take a tweet down recently, but I stand by it. I said,
what tweet?
The only people interested in these things at this point are the people that are playing
the
for
dorks, man.
And stuff. Yeah,
the freaking dorks are interested.
Dorks and gambling.
That's what all these dorks. It's not
cool
cool anymore. Yeah, it's just for a bunch of dorks, man. I don't care if I offend anybody either. You guys are a bunch of dorks if you still collecting all these cards.
Goofies.
Dweebs.
I mean, like I said, there are people. I don't want to shit on the wrong people. There are people that are playing in the gauntlet trying to prove themselves. That's a competitive thing. That's entirely different, right? If Hamza gets a logo, good on him. He deserves it.
No respect.
Oh yeah, shout out to my guy Hamza.
Respect.
You either open
Leave
a bunch
me
of packs
alone.
and get a logo, Myteam, or you shill really hard for the game and you get a logo. I reckon there's people that got logos this year that won't get them next year because they've been outspoken about the game. Because that's what happened to me. It will happen. There's people that don't realize they're in that.
Were you the only next maker that didn't get a logo this year?
No, I thought I was, but I wasn't.
The only Myteam next maker?
No. Most Fat Boz, there was a few.
So basically,
I was the only person at the playtest that didn't get a logo.
So basically, they just didn't give them to anyone in the general area.
Oh no, they just didn't give it to me.
Oh, fair.
I'm under no illusions. About why I didn't get a logo. I have been outspoken about this game mode. I enjoyed it for the first 3-4 weeks of this year and didn't enjoy it since then, and I haven't been subtle about it. So it is what it is. I'm okay with it. I've left now. That's how much it means to me. Nothing. But there are people that I am concerned that, probably do take quite a lot of value still in that process that might get shut out. I really hope that doesn't happen. Because
you know what I'm gonna miss most about my team? It's just this podcast, just talking to you guys, being able to talk to different creators. Honestly, I don't even. Me and Jazz don't even speak that often anymore because it's the thing that brought us close together is dead, man. It's like it's dying. No, it died already. Actually, it's like it's dying, but they're finding a way to like kill it beyond death. I don't know how they're doing it, but it's like it's just this is what I'm gonna miss though. Like these conversations, man. I'm gonna miss this most of all. But my God,
we'll all when this mode eventually does completely die, we're all gonna miss the community more than we miss the game.
I think we're all there now.
We all like that's the thing is like, if I could find a way and not play my team to make a living, I would. But the only thing I would miss is the community. Like I would not miss anything about this actual game mode.
Yeah.
I miss
so
the game mode
crazy.
the way it was. I mean, the community is of course that, but like I used to feel like a kid on Christmas on Fridays when that database would come up, and I would know.
Right.
It didn't even matter. Forget the coin sites, forget accessibility, whatever. If there was a card I really wanted, you can find a way to get it, right? Like you could sell a card that had extra hosts to get MT, whatever. There was ways
and
to do
that
it.
that aspect of it, like though, what I used to like, because I wouldn't even get the most expensive card when I just first started. I would literally sell plays around. I literally felt like a GM, like, okay, we want to get this superstar that just dropped. We got to make some moves to the team. Like, all right, look, we're calling you up from the G League. Like,
It's a full
some
fantasy
rubies
mode,
and stuff to make room for the diamond. Like, and I used to like that aspect of it. And it's like they just took it all away, man.
I don't know why anyone plays it anymore. I'll be honest. That's really the conclusion that I came to, because I don't enjoy a single element of this game. Not one.
I mean,
Unlimited was my jam. Like that was the
there's-
one thing I get bored with. We haven't even touched on the gameplay. Matt, you did a little bit, but it's
right.
awful. Awful.
There's
the
no reason to
gameplay.
play it. I mean, there's no incentive for real to even play Unlimited. I mean, there's not even no honor in it because everybody off balls or set corners, you know what I'm saying, or cheese or whatnot, or get a ratty animation. There's no reason to even play Unlimited. I mean, there was a 250K, but that's long gone. You know,
How do you do
good
multiple
riddance to
play
that.
tests,
Good
full
riddance.
community day, and still drop a game where the CPU defense is so overpowered that no one's playing
Crazy.
defense? How do you do that? How do you get there? Like, how ignorant do you need to be? When we say they're tapped out of what we're saying, they're tapped out of what we're saying. Because that's something that should have been resolved.
The CPU offense is still as dumb as ever as well.
True. I don't know.
They'll still.
The compilation I could put together just from a few days of playing Unlimited is an hour long of just
And the
BS.
The worst part is CPU defense is so OP and user defense is so bad. Like if you user a lane, your player will bat the ball straight back to the other team or bat it out of bounds, even if it's thrown straight at them. The ball will be thrown at their face and they'll just tap the ball straight back to the other team. And I'm like, but that's if you user it. If you CPU steal it, your player will have their back turned, they'll just stick their arm out and it'll stick to their hand. And you're like, why would we play defense? The best way to play defense in this game, honestly, I hate to say it, is to go as far away from the ball as possible. Like,
this is again what Matt was talking about, pride, honor, right? There's none in the game anymore. People just do whatever it takes to win. Like,
fun. That's another word we could have said. Also, is fun. It used to be fun.
But you used to be able to beat dudes that would hard off ball because you could do the snatch back and the CPU couldn't guard it. You could just shoot in their face with Luca. But now they've literally done everything they can because they don't want people grinding their badges too quick in my player to take out any kill moves on the CPU. There used to be certain moves that would force you to play on ball, but now you can't do any kill moves to the CPU.
You said like for my player, right? You feel like, I don't know if it was you or Jazz who said they make this gameplay to cater to like the park players.
Yeah, of course they do. They always have, always will.
And I don't. Do you even think there's even a way to balance it out? Like I don't even think you can balance out catering to 3v3 game mode in a 5v5.
Yeah, there is.
Like
you just need to do the one thing that they have never done. Bro,
that?
how do you do, like I said, multiple play tests? A full community day's worth of feedback. There was 80 people playing this game for 8 hours. How do you do that without testing the Myteam power curve once?
Yeah.
Test the power curve. When you dropped LeBron and 60 Hoff badges in the same week, did anyone test what would happen?
Nope.
Or did we just do it because it sounded like it'd make us some money? This
Money.
brain dead decision making.
Cash.
Like, no. Like,
Green.
test it now. Me and Killjoy played for hours. Give us the Myteam cards for next year and let us test them now. That's the only way. That's the only way. No one had any idea how this game would age. No one. Because it was never tested.
You would think that because my team is in 2K in general is in a monopolized state right now. They're the only competitive basketball game out there. You would think they would have some act right if I can't say SDS, but EA got involved and picked up some rights and dropped NBA Elite or NBA Jam or Live or something. Would this mode be completely different, you think? Or would it be the same? I don't think it would be.
It would be the exact same.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
with competition.
I think it depends on the level of competitor.
Yeah.
Like it depends on how good that competition is, right? Like if it was like truly a competitor in the sense say it was NBA Live 25 and it was like even a halfway decent game, if it was less predatory on people's pockets, people would forgive the slightly worse gameplay if it was only slightly worse. If it was truly a trash game, I don't think it would matter. But if it was even a decent game that was slightly less predatory and maybe a little more in touch, I could see a lot of people shifting quickly. And the thing is, too, is, if creators shifted, that would make a large impact. Say NBA Live 25 came out and all of a sudden HTB and DBG and Troydan and whoever else fill in the blanks with the biggest creators started playing more live.
Podcast.
That would probably scare 2K into being a little bit different. But if it was like NBA Playgrounds or something like that and it was kind of a novelty game, I don't think anything would change.
I mean, you got a point there. Look at Ty. He's over here already talking about NCAA football content, which that game is going to be fire. Go Blue, Michigan. Go Blue. Natties.
In some way, shape, or form, every major Myteam content creator has said in the last 6 months they're pivoting away from this game.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
And what sucks too is like my love for basketball is just the reason why I even stick it through. And it's like, it's not only just the love of basketball, it's just because what basketball, the sport itself, means to me. It's like I want to be able to play the game when I'm not playing outside. But it's just like they make it just sucks to see, man. Like I literally remember being like 13 years old watching Chris move. He would play My Career, play Myteam, and like even him, I went and checked on his channel. I think his videos is like 13,000 views. I'm like, he has 5 million subscribers. I think maybe even like 7 million. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but like there's just no reason he should be pulling in those kind of numbers. Like he is literally like at the like on the Mount Rushmore of 2K content creators, and even his views are low. It's just like
Chris Move's done the same thing though for 10 years. Like they were always going to drop.
Well, he stopped playing Myteam. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
he did stop playing Myteam because he used to do both.
Yeah,
and he stopped early on too. Like he didn't even stop in the 20. I think he stopped
in 19.
I think one of the teens he stopped. Yeah, he stopped early on, but yeah.
The only 2K content that does well is where the game is like a vehicle for a concept rather than the other way around, right? Where the game is the focal point, like the content within the game is the focal point. That's where content is struggling, and it's what if scenarios, things like that, right? Where the content is booming, rebuilds, whatever. Yeah. Where the game acts as a vehicle, but if it wasn't 2K, it could be any other basketball game.
Or if it's a person, or if it's you're watching for the person, like for example, a Troydan or a Henry.
Yeah.
Like you've even seen like Henry's pulling in more average views on his My Career stuff than he does on his Myteam stuff.
Yeah. He'll be gone. Within a year, he'll be gone.
Yeah. I would be shocked. Whatever about Henry, like he's obviously any Myteam creator would be dumb to leave now because now is when 99s become more accessible. Stuff's going to be picking up. But like, I would be shocked to see Henry touch Myteam between October and February next year.
I said it to him like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, if he goes for a walk, he'll get 50k views.
Yeah,
he'll get views. He doesn't need to make anything related. People will watch Henry make.
He's hit that Myteam ceiling, and like you're even seeing it with FIFA with the likes of like different type of creator, but I'd compare him to like a Danny Aarons, where or like a Foot Crunch, where they've hit a ceiling for the game. But like you can even see with the stuff that Denver's doing, outside of that, like Henry could boom even bigger than that. Like Henry's hit his Myteam ceiling, and I think the year that he pivots away, it might be a slow 3 or 4 months, but I think he'll have the biggest blow up of anyone in the community we've seen.
I agree. Yeah, that guy's going to go to the absolute moon. Yeah. We'll hear for it. Right. Should I run through these numbers really quickly, and then we're going to approach the end? Should we? Let's do the predictions really quickly. So, player market out of 10, what do we think was the average score?
Fucking 2.
2?
I saw a couple of 7s and 8s, so I'm gonna say 3.
I'll say, yeah, I think 3.
I'm gonna say 4. 3, 4. Yeah.
Cool. The average score was a 1 out of 10.
I figured.
Even with people saying 6s and 7s.
Just over a 1 was the average I've written down.
Oh my god. How many said 0?
Most people.
Yeah.
I think for every 6 there was 6 zeros. Pack odds. What do we reckon we gave out of 10?
0.
I'm going with another 2.
Is this a casino?
It's got to be. It's if player market was 1, then it's got to be 1.
Yeah, it is 1. It was nearly a 1.5 though. So
2 was right.
The pack odds scored higher than the player market. That's interesting.
Well, the pack odds scored higher than the pack market odds itself. Less than 2%. Checks out.
Someone did put that as the answer, by the way, and it really made me laugh. 100 overalls. By the way, play along at home if you're in the chat. Let us know what your scores are. 100 overalls out of 10.
4.
4?
I could see people rating that higher. 4, 5,
2.
2.
I had to round down, but the answer was 0 out of 10.
It's crazy.
Holy shit.
So it's under 0.5.
No one's used them. Why would they score?
So it's under 0.5. Jeez.
Yes, less than 0.5. Yeah.
It's about the odds of getting one.
Yeah. I mean, if no one's used on, it's their content to most people, no?
Yeah.
Who is it?
4
got 100 overall.
4 was way too high.
I don't have one, and I've opened a ton of packs with MT. Tons.
Yeah.
I got 1.
You got
Ain't
one?
gonna lie. Well, no, but I didn't pull it.
I stopped opening packs on February. The day the All-Star pack came out, I stopped opening packs. And literally, it was just, I just happened, one of the accounts, there was an account on my Xbox, not even my account, that very clearly had the PG glitch done on it. And I just happened to log in on it, and I just started using that MT. So, like, I haven't put a cent into this game since the Yao Ming day.
Bro, now that I'm not an X-Maker, when a PG glitch happens again, I'm going to cash in. I'm just saying. Matt, how did you get 100 overall?
2K Bless. I'm not gonna lie. So I was watching the 2K stream. I was watching
you and the
logo.
other people.
Yeah. And I politely typed in #Luca, and then boom, I got 100 overall. It wasn't Luca though. So the week before they did not stream. Okay. And they said I could have a choice between any Giannis or Luca or whoever I basically wanted. So I chose Giannis.
Was it worth it?
Hell no. If I could take it back, because that got my foot back in the door, which led to pack openings that should not have happened, to the tune of some guap. If y'all know
I'll
what
be
guap
honest
is.
with you.
No,
I buy the Pro Pass, whatever I earn from the MT. If I log in on my team, I look through to see the agendas. I look at my limited record for like 5 minutes. I see who's dropped this week. I'm like, let me see. Rip open a pack with some MT. Don't pull nothing. Get a Ruby from the Series 2 NBA season, and I go back to my career and just play my career. That's what's up, man.
That's most people, I reckon.
Don't do it, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you're out there, will listen to me. Please don't rip packs. And I know I'm a professional ripper in real life and on 2K. These packs are so baited, and I'm not going to even talk about the less than 2%. It's beyond that. It's a setup. It is a setup. And whenever you rip on console, well, the phone, the little mobile app is actually the wave. I ain't trying to drop the juice, but literally that's where you should rip at. But please don't rip these packs. I know they're going to come up with some super packs. These promo packs, think about this. For $100, you get to rip 10 packs and pull 1 opal and 9 pink diamonds. That's the odds of this game. People are not pulling dark matters like that, unless you spend an extravagant amount.
I think everyone should wait until like 2 weeks before the cycle ends, where they drop 100 overall super packs. Save all their MT up. Wait for them to drop like 100 overall Chris Paul, John Stockton.
Yeah.
So they're 90% of the.
I was gonna say, 100 overall. These guys aren't going into the player market. So like, if you want. So remember back, all the other years were like end games and invincibles are like 10k MT. That's not happening. None of them are in the player market. You're gonna be opening your super packs. You're only getting your scrubs.
And they'll put some troll
There's no
cards
point in
in
ripping
there,
them
buddy.
packs.
And they're going to
man.
discard for like 10,000 MT, I'd say.
No point.
Yeah.
Useless, pointless.
100
Should
overall
we-
Chris Paul on the way.
Yeah,
Jesus.
100%.
Muggsy
With
Bugs.
a 48-inch vertical, man.
That's
Yep,
stuff.
the best part.
That Stockton CP3 and Isaiah Thomas Day
That
has
was
to be the
most
biggest
troll
troll
day.
in my team history. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to give us... Because in 2K20, they gave us like all the god tier like go cards at the end. And then they gave us 3 scrubs.
Yeah, that was a madness. All right, next one. So game mode reward card. So this isn't like bold. What was before bold? What was
Rush.
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 Yeah.
So it's not those. It's 50 wins in CTO and you get whatever. What do we think this got scored out of 10?
I think it probably
0.
got scored really high because of the last 2 seasons. I'd say from maybe it was season 4 was okay, but season 5 and season 6 were really good. So I think it might have gotten like a 7 or an 8. But we can't also forget that they were unusably bad to start the year.
Yeah.
So it probably
Really
should be a
bad.
5 or a 6 because
4.
they were scrubs until like season 4. But I'd say probably 7 or an 8.
I mean, they've dropped some
Four and a
bangers,
3
haven't
to be
they?
nice.
Yeah, recently it'd have been unbelievable.
3.
I
I'm gonna
agree.
go with 3.
I would say it's high. I mean, Glenn Rice is
Yeah.
no
Shea
way
is
around
great.
about it. They're good cards. So I'll say like 6.
Dikembe, by the
real
way.
quick.
Yeah, the Kemp man.
If I
Wait,
had
real
known
quick.
that was the Kembe, I would have played
Sorry.
salary cap.
Jazz, you see how you said like prior to the other seasons, like all the 50 wins, like cards were like really bad.
Yeah.
This just shows you how forgetful this fucking community is.
Yeah.
Because like they'll remember Glenn Rice, give it a high rating, and then be like, oh yeah, we the other ones don't matter because he's really good. I'm gonna
KG
go
and
with 4.
Hakeem from season 3.
3
Yeah.
and 4.
I would say, personally, I think the score is too high, and I think that's exactly what happened. I think it's recency bias. What did we guess?
I
7.
said 5.
6.
I'm
7 or
saying
8.
5.
Yeah, you're in the ballpark. Yeah, it's 6.
Dorks. You guys are
I
dorks.
think the last couple of seasons have been like a 7 or 8, and then all the seasons before that were significantly lower. I would have put this around a 5, 4 or 5. That's
Yeah.
probably where I think if they keep this up by the end of the year, sure, it can get to 6. But we need
I
to
think
see
6
more
is
good
fair.
seasons than bad.
for like what, a few seasons.
6 says we've had more good
I-
seasons than bad.
I
That's above
don't
average.
know because at the end of the day,
Because
like I
Shea,
give the Glenn
like-
Rice and they're good cards, but the hours is like man,
Yeah,
like,
but like we still did have like the total reward Shea in season 2, Brandon Roy in season 1 were still good cards. Like it was just
Yeah,
the
but,
individual
like,
mode
the
rewards. were
trade-offs.
bumps.
The trade-off though is like
yeah,
the
so much time.
So
It's
that's
crazy.
kind of a different requirement. So I've got game mode reward cards, and then game mode requirements is like a separate thing.
Okay.
So yeah, this
The
is
cards
kind of-
itself are all right.
Yeah.
You know, now
solid.
that's
Let's
fair.
do the weekly free agendas then. So bold rush, etc.
Oh, like when they started with the Inferno. That is that when that's what we're referring to. Like
I
those
guess
weekly
Inferno technically was.
did
Yeah.
start it.
Yeah.
It was the first.
And
Yeah.
we're starting with that, and then
Excuse
to
me.
now, I'll say like a 5.
Say 5.
I'll say like
Yeah.
a 5.
5.
We were sitting at 5. Okay, it got 6. I think to give it a 6, you are ignoring that 4 out of the 5 headlining cards have been a 6-foot point guard. Well, Clyde was a bit taller, but yeah, point guards, right? I mean, if you're new and you're doing that, it's great. But where are you getting the rest of your squad from?
Right.
Exactly.
I don't know. The bold doesn't move me. There's one dark matter per week, and they're all point guards that it's whatever. It doesn't move me. It seems really like that's the very bare minimum. They have to do something. And it just seems like the bare minimum to me. It doesn't move me.
Pissing me off.
That's
Holy
crazy.
shit.
What?
Are
Did
you
Ludes
serious?
just join this call?
for
Yeah.
the last 5 minutes?
We're
maybe?
like 20 minutes from being done.
He
ain't
says
even got his
Algo is
camera
still
on.
here.
It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. It's all about how you finish. Hold on, Lou. Like, it's been months since we spoke about the Knicks and the Bulls basketball, and I just want to say we won the war. We won the battle.
Ludes,
want
what the
everything.
hell?
Yeah, so true to form, I'm super late. So
You said,
that's like
you
we're
said you'd be 2 minutes late. It's an hour. And,
Like you meant 2 hours.
it's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
technically speaking, I thought we were starting at 12, so I'm only 21 minutes late.
It's 121 over here, brother.
Yeah. I mixed up time zones. It's fine. We're here. You know.
Your eyes
I
barely
don't
look
even know
open.
what to do with this.
I know what kind of guy you are. Know what you were doing.
You guys know what the industry I work in, okay? All right, I had things to do.
Oh, brother, I'm very familiar with your game. Look, I'm very familiar with your game.
Oh god, you're gonna get us demonetized faster than I will this time.
Okay, it's the last video on the channel. Burn it down.
That was a candy. That was candy, by the way. That was
Oh,
candy.
true. Okay, cool. Well, let me start brushing the stash out then. Hi.
Shall I give Ludes a quick catch up? So
Yeah, please do.
My team equals shit.
Anyways,
So I
hi,
kicked off
Matt
by,
and Jacob and Jazz and everybody. Hi, I'm super late. Miss
so
you guys.
we got about 20 minutes. So we kicked off. I resigned as the next maker. So dubs.
Oh man, I missed that.
Yeah, you can watch it like a viewer. You can
a-
be one of the viewers.
Like a plebeian.
Be in the
Yeah,
chat.
not a co-host, like a viewer. Yeah.
We then did kind of a deep dive on player market stuff, pack odds, the lies, all of that stuff. We've covered pretty much everything. We're now rating things 1 through 10. I don't know if you saw my survey on Twitter, but I got people to rate things like 1 through 10.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Should we get him to catch up real quick? Let's just get your scores. Player market out of 10.
Oh, 0, 100%. And I feel bad too because I was like, I don't want to say I was championing it at first, but I was like, yeah, this will be fine.
Yeah, I did apologize to Matt.
Super wrong about that.
Yeah.
So
the community gave it a 1.
yeah, I would say 0. I would say no, they're probably 1's okay. I think at first it started out okay enough, and then it just got real bad, you know. Almost like
Yeah.
DBG said it would, like 1,500 times.
He did. He very smugly said that many times.
Yeah, I know.
What, the player market was gonna suck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've learned. I've been around long enough to know if there's a way of 2K screwing something up, they're gonna screw it up. Like if you can see 2K, like if you look at something and think, oh crap, this could go really badly, it will go really badly.
I mean, true. Yeah.
Murphy's Law of 2K.
Yeah, Murray's
Yeah.
Law. It's okay.
Like it was even with the trophy case. Like I predicted exactly what the problem would be with the trophy case coming into like the season 2 and 3 later on. Like
I still didn't mind the trophy case.
I like the trophy case.
it had a lot. Oh, you know what? I'd take it over the crap we had earlier this year.
it looks like heaven right now. Pack odds, Ludes, out of 10. He's putting his hat back on to answer the question.
Oh man. All right. So look, I've been driving for like 5 hours today. Okay. All right. Leave me alone. Anyways, pack odds, I mean 0. Literally might be the worst like ever. I'm dead serious. I haven't really opened packs this year, but from what I've seen, I don't know if it's a lack of people actually opening packs, which like good on them, or if the pack odds are significantly worse than they've ever been, but it seems to be worse or the same. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
It is. 100 overalls. They got a 1 out of 10, by the way. 100 overalls out of 10.
0. Again, 0. I hate the concept. When I saw they were doing it, I was actually upset. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of doing 100 overalls. It feels terrible. And I know there's like a... Am I
It's
mistaken?
not as sexy as 99. 99 was just like...
Yeah, and am I not mistaken? There is a tier above that now at this point, right? Like, we're going to get something above that.
101 overalls.
It's
110.
confirmed by the database. There's
Yeah.
like
Goats and
goat
Invincibles.
Invincibles and goats. Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, it's even dumber that we have goats and invincibles and 100 overall.
It seems redundant.
But like
In my
100
opinion.
overall is just what we used to call invincible last year. They just changed the name. Like you can't
It's-
make a
it's
card at
redundant.
100 overall, but your stats don't go above 99.
Yeah, it's baffling to me. It just is stupid. No other sports title does it. So like, why does 2K do it? It's just to add another card for people to like shark over. I'm sure we've talked about the Kobe situation. I was like lurking in the background for all
He's
that.
just showed up and doing his own podcast. I'm here for it. Let's go.
I'm assuming we talked about it at some point. No?
What's your 2 cents?
I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. I just like who's actively working at 2K at this moment, because they might be the most incompetent, stupid ass motherfucker I've ever seen. Like whoever is making these decisions truly is a level of incompetent that I have to assume they're someone's rich fail son that got hired on like
Get 'em a
a
Nepo
fable.
baby.
Nepotism.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what?
like a nepo baby. There's
You
just
know
no
what?
way.
I'd rather them be incompetent than malicious because it's one of all the content is one of two. They're either
True.
incompetent or malicious, and you know what? You'd rather, from our perspective, I'd rather them be incompetent than actively malicious.
I just feel like it's some combination of the two. I just like don't understand what's happening, and it's not just them too.
Got me. He proper got me. I'm gonna mute.
I mean, it's not just them too. We're seeing like MLB The Show go this route this year too, where it's just the industry in general. But 2K once again is the head of the industry in being like horrific to their own player base. Like, sometimes I turn Madden on, and I'm playing like an EA title, and I'm like, wow, they're so nice to me. That's fucked up. Like, that's terrible, man.
That's a really
That's
good
real.
perspective. Yeah.
Like,
Let's just knock these last few out, and then we'll just get into the rest of the stuff. Let's speed run this. I'll catch you up in a bit, Ludes, on some other stuff. Game mode requirements out of 10. What we got? Let's speed run it. So
1. It takes way too long.
3, because individually it's not that bad.
3, 4.
2.
The answer was 4. 20,000 points for Glenn Rice. I just physically, it's the first time I got defeated, by the way. So I still think this is high. I think the rest of the cards is fine.
The one thing I will say for the Glenn Rice thing is that back in the day, level 40s, when they were completely almost unattainable and they were a Glenn Rice length grind, but they were the best card in the game. And then they changed it and made them way easier, but they made the card worse. And people said they wanted the long grinds back for the best card in the game. And you've got a long grind for the best card in the game. So people did ask for that.
I feel like they didn't ask for exactly that. I think there was a happy medium at a point.
there was.
Yeah.
Steph was ridiculous. Like that grind was not.
I got halfway there and gave up.
Yo, DBG.
You had to be tapped out.
Wow.
This is for you, man.
What? I can't see.
Simbula. He's just got an image of Simbula.
Oh.
He's just pulled it.
Are you opening packs, Josh?
I am.
I didn't even
You
get
know
him.
what
I got
Matt
2
just said?
Sohans. I got 2 Sohans. So.
You're opening packs right now? No way.
Matt just
dude.
on an impassioned speech saying don't open packs.
Wow.
Josh is like,
This is my
someone say
hard-earned
open packs.
Don't do
VC
it.
from playing
Nah, do your thing.
my career, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's funny.
For me, I haven't played since like I'll be completely honest. Like I have not opened 2K since I'm dead serious November. Like I have not played the game. I haven't opened it on my console since probably November or like December at the latest.
Do you want a fun fact?
I'm still lurking in the background though. Don't get it twisted. I still see all your guys' stuff. I'm here.
Yeah, showing up 2 hours late to a podcast. Fun fact.
Okay, all right. You know
Fun
what?
fact.
I just feel like I'm never gonna stop hearing about this.
Well, it's the last one, so I can't troll you anymore. Apart from when we
No,
play
you'll
Among
still
Us.
troll me. Like I'll get a random Twitter DM just to remind me that I have a podcast that doesn't exist.
I am. By the way, we're going to run some Among Us because I realized the host is the only one that needs the mods.
Awesome.
I've got a whole host of mods ready to go. It's going to be jokes, but accessibility was the kind of summary one that we've got coming up. Card accessibility as a whole.
It's got to be in the negatives.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, if it can go lower than 0, I would say so. I have friends like at work, through work, that I've actively they know I've done like 2K videos and stuff like that, and they know generally what I do with my free time or what I did. So they've gotten into 2K or tried to just to see what it's all about. And pretty much universally, every single one has come back to me in relation to my team and been like, dude, if I only have a couple hours a week, I cannot play this game. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. 100%. So the accessibility is like almost a 0 in my opinion for like an average person.
Did everyone say 0?
Yeah.
0, 1. I think it's
-2.
gonna be 1.
-2.
Wait,
I am
what
surprised.
did you say? Card accessibility.
Yeah, so that's overall card accessibility, right? That's every card.
I'd go 1, considering that there was stages in the year early where the player market made specific cards more accessible.
So the
I
answer
would
is
agree.
2, which I think is actually about right because you've got the free content. We do still have free content,
Yeah.
right? So I wouldn't put it at a 0. Like if you're a Ja Morant fan, best thing ever, right? But yeah, I wouldn't go any higher than that.
True. And my assessment is based on like December and November, where it, in my opinion, was at its worst. I don't know. Maybe that's not true.
Oh, it's
Maybe
much
Oh,
worse.
you
Much worse.
You can't.
It got worse
Ludes,
than that? No.
you can't
how?
buy
What
cards
the fuck?
anymore.
The only way to get cards now is to gamble.
Okay, yeah, no, I knew that, but like that's just normal with 2K at this point. I'm just
No,
No,
accepting
it's
that.
not. You can't say that's normal. It's never happened before.
Is it normal?
No,
Then we
it's
don't
just
have a
it-
thing called an auction house.
No,
Like,
I'm
do you
still.
know, if you
I'm
don't
still
want to,
spicy over my lack of being able to get T-Mac every single year,
it
so I
costs
just assume
300k. It costs
bring the
300k for a usable LeBron, and it's a diamond from November.
T-Mac was free, by
Yeah.
the way.
this is what happens when you don't turn the game on and try to join a podcast 2 hours late.
Did you get the 100 overall Oyster tag yet?
That doesn't exist. I would
Yeah,
have
it's
known.
a real thing.
No, it's not a real thing. No, it's not because like my
Imagine it.
Oster tag senses would have tingled. I know it's not a real thing.
Tingled. Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know, but it makes my credit score go up.
Playable content out of 10.
It's the same thing it's always been, right?
Ooh.
We haven't had a
I
new
don't
game
think
mode
so.
in years. Salary
Okay.
cap, I guess. I don't know.
So you guys want to hear something funny? I just opened 2KDB for the first time since the last time I opened it. The last time I opened it was November 22nd, 2023.
LeBron
And,
Day, was it?
Kareem, Jalen Brown, Cade Cunningham.
LeBron Day. Got it right. Let's
Yeah.
go. My memory serves me right.
Yeah,
when he
that was
went
the last
down.
time I opened 2K. Wow.
Yeah. Playable content, what we got?
Say like, I don't know, 4.
Salary
I
cap's
guess.
good.
I mean,
3,
the
4?
game mode still exists. Nothing's changed. I'd say
See,
like 4.
The
When
answer's
I,
4.
when I put this out there, my idea of like playable content was like ad hoc
Spotlights.
playable content. Yeah, like spotlights.
Yeah. Well, in that
Dominations,
case, like,
whatever.
Oh,
nothing.
oh, 2.
We got one new domination this year, and then, oh shit, we got the Dame domination that nobody did.
Facts.
Oh, yeah.
It got a 4 out of 10, but I think most people interpreted it how Jacob interpreted it,
Yeah.
which
Right.
is like,
So,
there is
Ma-
game modes.
Matt, you like myself have kind of branched off and just started playing like other sports games that aren't 2K. And it leads me to believe that like our ranking's probably a 0 because we play these other games and there's just so much to do. And then you come back to 2K and you get just absolutely decimated by the CPU and then nothing to do after that. And then you just turn the game off. Oh, I think
you're muted, Matt.
You're still muted.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah.
I'm
Anyways,
sorry, guys. I've
There
been
it
muted.
is.
Man, I'm glad y'all didn't hear what I was
He's
saying.
new to this.
Anyways,
He's new to this.
Ludes was just alluding to Madden, going to Madden and basically having fun, which is crazy, you know what I'm saying? But it's wild that people are Madden. Some people, I'm sure a lot of people now know, but people in Madden don't know how good they got it, man. Like Madden is I love it first and foremost.
That's an insane thing to say, but you're right.
But it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? When you go back to a game that's so freaking baited, that's so raggedy, that's so predatory. I mean, hello. I mean, this is literally like I believe it was Mick that just said this is the worst Ultimate Team mode. I mean, by far. There's nothing
imaginable,
worse.
by the way. I can't think of a way of making this worse.
I'm
Get
trying.
rid of the 6 players a week we can get in the player market.
True. Deadpan said that, and it's a fact. Cool. I got a couple of other talking points, and then I might let Ludes cook for a little bit. But
Yeah.
first of all, overall scores.
Like on the game as a whole.
NBA 2K24, Myteam.
As a whole,
Yeah.
composite,
A 4.
Ooh.
a 1.
1. I agree. It doesn't deserve any higher. And I wouldn't have said that in previous years. I promise you that.
Yeah.
I actually think it's the worst one of all time, and it
Yeah,
eclipses
you know-
2K18 by a
It's
lot.
not
Yeah.
close.
Actually, you know what? I think even though there are individual things that are good, which is why I gave it a 2, I think being
He's having to
possibly the
explain why he went up to a 2 right now, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
possibly.
the
But I do think that just on principle, for possibly the worst Ultimate Team of all time, you have to give it a 1 or a 0.
Yeah.
Because like it is so bad that if they repeat it next year, there's no point even starting playing the mode. Like if we see player market to start 2K25, there is no point in playing the mode at all from
Oh,
the
I
start of the
won't.
year because we
I
know
won't.
eventually this is going to happen. Like if we don't see Auction House returned, there's actually no point playing the game mode next year.
Ooh, that
I
was
agree.
an amazing transition.
I mean, yeah, I just think, dude, as of right now, right? I've been playing 2K since 2K2, I think, since Iverson was on the cover and it had ESPN on it. So 4, I think, maybe.
Yeah, that was
And I am at the point where like I have no interest in purchasing the game at all next year, which is absolutely insane because I love playing basketball because I have no coordination whatsoever and can't hoop in real life. So like, you know, that's a baffling thing to me because no matter how bad it's gotten, I've always purchased this game. So it's just weird to me to think that I hate it so much that I'm just like not gonna buy it next year.
Dude, I was a 2K Next Maker 2 hours ago. And
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that's
also
true,
not
that's
gonna-
You're still a 2K. You're a 2K Next Maker until this goes live.
Oh, I'll be out
Yeah,
with this good by
technically
then. I'll be done.
Oh,
I'll be
really?
done. I'll be done. Yeah. The community gave it a 3 as an overall.
I know it.
That
that's
is
crazy.
too high. There's
Too
no.
high. Recency bias, man. You know how these
How
freaking
many-
dorks
wait.
are, man.
Is it
Freaking
swayed
dorks.
by people going to like? Some people give it like 8s and 9s.
I don't think anyone went that high unless they were trolling. I think Bruno gave everything a 10. But I think,
Like even Books Nelson refused to even give a score.
yeah.
Oh, 2K Kiwi gave it a 7.
No,
I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to hate
he's
on
trolling.
anyone for if they've enjoyed it, they've enjoyed it. There might be a
Oh, yeah.
specific niche that this somehow falls into that is just you as a person. I don't understand what that niche is, but maybe it did. And
There's a
lot
lot
of
of
the time
six-
there's like personal
there's-
shit involved in this as well. Like, has it helped me through something,
Yeah.
whatever? Like, I just don't know. But the game,
I think a
was shit.
salary cap head might enjoy the game. If
Yeah,
that's really
I agree.
if salary
Yeah.
cap is your jam, I can
Yeah.
see how somebody looks forward to playing salary cap. Maybe some cards get changed around price a little bit. They like playing that type of 2K with lower tier. Like I can see somebody who enjoys salary cap playing.
I'll be
salary
honest, I
cap.
hate this game, but I do like salary cap. Like if
Yeah,
they're gonna
salary
make
cap
changes,
was-
that's the one
that is
change
good.
I
Salary
don't
cap
want
was
them to
cool.
make.
Salary cap was cool. I will. That was one of my favorite things.
If you main salary cap, I could see how you arrive at a score
you-
higher than whatever.
And maybe if you just play offline.
Or if you're opening those prize balls at 9:30 a.m., you might give it a 9 out of 10.
Damn.
You
You
have
know-
to get a shot in. You nearly got 2 hours in went.
I'm opening my like. Oh, by the way, tomorrow you're gonna see a tweet at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Waking up, just a screenshot of my phone screen with like 9:30. Just opening my Sapphire prize ball.
You really
No, we
don't like
need to.
it.
We need to make that a meme. We
What
need
have
to
we
make
got
that
out
a
of
meme.
it?
Like,
What have we got
any-
out of it?
You have to win an
Anytime
unlimited game
9:30
first.
a.m. happens, like I could be streaming. It's 2:30, and it's 9:30 Eastern time. 9:30 a.m. Sapphire prize ball.
You have to win an unlimited game first, or it has no value. I've just won an unlimited game. Now I'm opening my Sapphire prize ball.
You give me your community day hoodie, and I'll do that at 9:30 every day.
That's crazy.
Imagine.
I have a 2K21 hoodie actually. I'll whip out my 2K21 hoodie just over my Sapphire prize ball.
Community Day this year is going to be the saddest affair of all time. I'm going to be honest.
I genuinely don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if it will.
It will happen. It just I don't.
I don't
can
know.
see-
I wouldn't be that confident.
There's gonna be about 5. There'll be 5 or less my team guys, but it's gonna happen.
I mean,
They'll invite a pack opener. Will be invited.
I mean,
Yeah.
true. The only people that seem to really enjoy this game at this stage are people who do the my NBA simulation content because the game is good for that.
there
Yeah,
are quite a few of
it
them
is.
there last year. To be
It is.
fair.
Yeah,
Ned
it's
was
good
there,
for that.
Click
I'll
was
give
there.
them
My
their
Airs is a
flowers
good
on
mode.
that.
100%. My Airs is a good
This
mode.
is NBA 2K23 is a really good game. It's just the modes that involve microtransactions it's gotten so far to the stage where they're looking for money that it used to be a stage where it was a fun mode that you had to pay for, but it's now gotten to the stage where 2K are actively making the modes less fun so that you spend money. It used to always be the stage where there was a pay to win advantage, they were trying to get you to pay money, but now they're making the mode actively miserable to play unless you spend money, which is the difference between
I think the gameplay
recently
is
and-
an issue as well, though. I think even playing this game outside of my team, I don't think the gameplay is good. So in previous years, I would probably agree with that, but I agree with it less this year because it isn't really fun to play.
No, it's
Players
hard.
don't move. Everyone's in molasses. Defense is what it is. You know, AIIQ is still terrible. Like it just. If you're doing rebuilds, the reason you were talking about that is because rebuilds are the only scenario where you don't have to physically play the game.
You're not wrong.
That's crazy.
This is why the content's popping off, because the creators making it don't want to throw up while they're making their videos.
And I'll give them the credit that the text there, they just like messed up real bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pro play was them trying to basically, I've always said this even when pro play was a thing. I said the more animations 2K bring into the game, the more likely it is that the animations don't work together and the game is bad. And pro play has just created twice as many animations as before. And it just means that there are no matter how many animations you put in, there are always going to be 4 to 5 broken ones that everybody uses. But now with even more animations means so many guys just like literally can't run. Like players can't run anymore. Players don't react properly.
Yeah, they're over-engineered.
Yeah,
I agree.
like for a player to go to accelerate, it used to just be there was an acceleration stat and that affected how the players move. But now there's badges, there's stats, there's hidden animations, there's running styles, there's pro play mechanics, and all of those, there's too many moving parts. And players don't move properly. It's caused input delay on offline. There is no input delay playing the game offline. Players are stuck in the mud. They almost perfected the basketball game system in 2014, 2015. But all they've done now is try to add bells and whistles to make it look more realistic. But by doing that, they create a bunch of flaws in the game. They then spend a year fixing those flaws for the next year, and then they try to put in more bells and whistles. And it's now gotten to the stage where if you go back and play 2K15, 2K16, the game feels more snappy, more fluid. Your buttons work. Everything felt better 10 years ago as far as a video game goes. Yes, if you're just looking at it as a clip machine, it might look more like real basketball now. But that's only from very, very selective clips. If you actually look at the game, it doesn't look any more or less like real basketball now.
If you watch 2 people play each other online, it just doesn't look good.
No.
It does not look good.
Unless you like very specifically play the game in a certain way, in certain camera angles, and do certain moves, which it can look like some things in real basketball. Unless you do that, it looks less like real basketball than 10 years ago, while also not fundamentally not working as a video game, which actually 2K don't even refer to it as a video game. They refer to it as their basketball simulation. So that's what their goal is clearly to do. Their goal isn't to make a functioning video game, it's to make a basketball simulation. And then they start putting in things like adrenaline boosts and stuff, which make it even less like basketball, because if your player gets bumped twice, they can't run or shoot. If your player gets nudged twice in the front court, they will not make an open jump shot. No matter, even if they get nudged twice, pass the ball, stand in the corner for 10 seconds, they don't get the burst back, they catch it, they will miss, guaranteed.
It's gimmicks, isn't it? That's what it is. Like, I've spent a day with Mike Wang, like, and he does want to create the best basketball game he can. I have no doubt about that, and his team as well. They're lovely people, and I think they're all in it for the right reasons. But I do think the headline is gimmicks. It's not about gameplay. It's not about the gameplay experience, the user experience. Like, the game still plays better on old gen. The locomotion's still better. Like, that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay, Josh has dipped, by the way, just letting everyone know.
They're working on 2K25 right now as we speak, correct?
They will have started working on it the day after this game came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they don't cycle this like alternate dev teams, right? So they would have started working on this game almost immediately.
I don't know their business or anything, but I would surely hope they would have learned a valuable lesson off this year with the gameplay. It just cannot be remedial and copy and paste. You know what I'm saying? It really cannot be. You know, I'd spoken to somebody in my stream, and I told him, I said, you know, it's one thing to pull 100 overall and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you can pull one, but you still have to take it into this beta gameplay. I mean, this game is ruled by animations. That's what rules the world. You know. I mean, I go and get bump stealed. Center goes out of bounds. I run into people. It just doesn't make
no freak
sense.
animations. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and that is the overwhelming feeling you have when you play it. Just for what it's worth, the last message I have ever put in that Discord is, please test the Myteam power curve next year. For next year. Like, that's the last thing I said to them. Like, they have to.
They won't, but yes,
Right.
agreed.
I have.
It's weird though. The one thing I want to say is it's really weird when we talk about the animations with 2K. Because if anybody remembers the old 2K, they were like way ahead of the curve on physics engines, and that was kind of what put them ahead of like EA for a little bit. Was they were running some more physics-based engines as opposed to animations, and at some point they decided to cheapen up and start going animation heavy, and now we have the problems we have. So it's just kind of weird.
The game plays more like NBA Live 19 now than it did 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, if
Agreed.
you look the player, like the reason why NBA Live 19 failed was that you would get caught in a lot of canned animations. Your buttons didn't feel responsive when you were dribbling the ball, when you were shooting. It just didn't feel like you were in that much control. Whereas 2K24 with all the new animations, and the worst part is that they can't go back. Like they can't just remaster an old game. They can't go back. They got to keep progressing. And it's now gotten to the stage where their game feels like what we didn't want.
To go back is an admission that they fucked up.
Yeah. And that's one of the biggest problems, I think, with just Myteam in general. Like I was talking to someone about this, and I was saying, I was like, for what the best thing that 2K could do, which they never will do, is start the Myteam trailer next year with, we know we messed up, and then just auction house a picture, like the auction house coming back from the dead or something.
This is the final question.
Yeah,
this is the final question. Is there anything they could say? That last blog, we heard your feedback. We listened to everything you had to say. We knew people weren't happy about the mode. Here's a player market, the most accessible thing ever. Kobe collector. How many lies were in like 100 words? Because this is my final question. Is there anything 2K could say based on like what we've seen this year in the 2K25 blog that you would believe?
There is 5 words, and if these 5 words are not there, like I'm going to continue to play Myteam as long as it's my job. But if these 5 words aren't there, the mode is cooked, and there's no point even expecting or hoping for anything. If the auction house is back is not the first 5 words on the blog, there's no point.
It's not happened.
It's not. I know that, but like, there's actually just no point.
Even if it does come back, who's to say they don't just continue making special inserts that can only be pulled from packs and be unsellable?
Yeah, does it just replace the player market? Yeah.
Yeah. So like hypothetically, there still could be an auction house. Guess what? The only 6 cards in these packs that would ever hit the auction. You know what I mean? Because they've done that before with like the stellar packs. You know, you pull them, you get the unsellable. They've got unsellable cards in the game. Like they could definitely just add an auction house back and then still do special inserts that cannot be listed on the auction house and put them only in packs. So like even if they do say the auction house is back, that will rope a ton of people in. Will it change anything? Who knows? Probably not.
So have we all just given up on this mode and given up on the people and company that have made it? Like I'm very close to, but those 5 words might make me at least not.
I think the trust is gone. I think the trust is gone, and to trust them again is me having a complete lack of respect for myself. It's not just the things I'm talking about. It's things I said in the past, right? 2-week events are coming back. 3-point fouls have been nerfed. How many things have they just flat out lied about? Like just lied about? Not like, oh, we were trying to do this and went a different way. They knew it would be a lie if they made the decision to nerf the player market this year.
Do you think
did it anyway? Didn't care.
Do you think that they went into this year with the intention of bringing in gambling only content? I don't.
No. Which is why I don't trust anything that they'll say at the start of next year.
You're right. That all it takes is 2 bad weeks of 2 weeks where they make less than they expected for them to 180 on it.
And I feel like that is what happened. I feel like probably a couple of weeks into that, they were itching to do this. They just waited a little bit longer than they probably intended to.
I think Books Nelson brings up a good point when he says when they're down 7% in revenue year over year, whatever it might be, the first thing they think of how to get that number back up is just shake down their Myteam players, because realistically it's more difficult to shake down it's hard to incentivize a my player to spend more money. They make their builds. Like how do you convince my players to make more builds when it's halfway through the game cycle? Cosmetics are the only thing. The easiest, quickest way. Oh, we're down 7%. How do we get that money back? Get it from the Myteam guys. Right, like that's like we're their first target when they need money. So,
you know, what does that say about us, Myteam guys, though? You know, and our community. This is why we should stand up. You could not imagine in the park if they made a certain animation or a shot or a dribble style unattainable. You could not imagine that all hell would break loose on Park, and we all would know that, and they would probably come together. And that's our problem for real, you know. And I know I tried to advocate before, but unless we really want to see change, unless we really want to see change, we all have to stand up. I know that sounds crazy because a lot of us won't get together because we're not on the same accord. But if you think of it, man, if we stood up and actually, said something about this, man, would there be a difference? Probably not, but yeah.
Everyone is.
No, then who?
I wouldn't say everyone is.
No,
what do you mean?
not
Saying
vast
something
majority,
about
the vast majority are speaking out against things. But
how meant like off the top of my head,
Mm-hmm.
there is two Myteam content creators of any sort of relevance that aren't speaking out about this. Maybe one.
Maybe that's enough.
One guy? I don't think so.
One guy,
I think it's just not
if
organized
it
or
comes to giving
structured enough.
feedback, you could be as selective as you want to be.
Yeah, like there is one, and it's also for people in the chat. This is not the content creator. Like the content creator, you guys think that I'm saying for one guy. That guy has said more negative thing. That guy has said some negative things about this, and he's at least retweeting negative stuff. There's only one content creator I can think of that has not spoke about this in any way.
I'm so removed.
And I'm not going to say who it is.
It's Lutz. It's Lutz.
Yeah, it's probably me. I haven't said anything technically.
It's Lutz.
This is what staying silent gets you, Ludes. Come on, stand up.
Like,
You let us all down. I finally got to say it back to you. You let us all down.
oh, come on.
But like that's what the
man.
problem is that like if you say anything about people standing up, you get accused of pocket watching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Bro, it
pocket
doesn't
watching
matter what you
discussions
do. I've
are
been on
really
the
weird.
entire
Yeah.
spectrum in the
That's
last year, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to get accused of something.
Oh,
If I say something
100%.
bad, I'm negative. If I become a next maker, I'm a shill. There's probably people in the chat right now going, "Oh, he's being really negative again." I was a shill 2 hours ago, by the way, to the same people. Doesn't matter what you say. So someone's going to judge you. But in terms of like feedback, the people that seek the feedback can be as selective as they want to be. They can pick one tweet out of 100,000, go to CEO and go, "Look how amazing the feedback is." Do you know what I mean? It does. It can take one. Everyone does have to be unanimous. Ultimately, people need to be unanimous in game time. People need to stop playing this game.
My
Until
opinion
we get
is
any level of respect in return. Stop.
The
playing this
irony of you saying this while you have a copy of the game with your own face on it behind you.
game. That game would be a banger, by the way. If that was NBA 2K24 produced by Jazz, man, free cards for everyone.
Man.
I would still gatekeep Oster Tag though.
That just seems personal, but okay. What about his other 3 fans? That's fucked up.
All 4 of you, the club.
Jazz, real quick. I don't think we even asked this, but do we even foresee and I'm glad DBG raised this up. Do we even foresee an auction house for real ever coming back? Because I mean that would be the move.
No. I don't.
No?
My final statement, I don't think Myteam is going to exist as a console game in a couple of years. I think it's just going to be a mobile gotcha game.
I think they're going mobile very soon.
It already is, by the way. I
is,
don't know if
it
anyone's
is.
noticed,
Yeah.
but that's already happened. There is a standalone app, which is just a
Right
Myteam
there.
app.
Yeah.
That is a
Right.
mobile gotcha game.
Right there. Look at that. Boom. Right. You see it.
What's the reason
It
to
is.
keep releasing it on console?
I think
mean,
they'll do what they
money.
did with like eFootball, where NBA 2K Myteam is separate to NBA 2K24 or 20 something. Mightn't happen next year, but it's going to happen eventually. Where like you go into free to play games. You know the way it's like every year there's a Call of Duty game, but then Warzone is there as well.
Yeah.
Where Warzone's free to play, but the Call of Duty games is $60. Whereas like if you want to buy NBA 2K, you buy NBA 2K, but there's this free app called NBA 2K Myteam that resets every year.
Yeah.
It's
I-
baffling because they're doing it backwards. They should be doing that with Park, not like Myteam.
They
It makes
realistically
no sense.
should be doing it with both.
Yeah, it
with
could, it could
how
happen
much,
with both.
like with what they're doing with as far as like microtransactions and the fact that it is basically like it's more acceptable to charge what they're charging in a free game.
Yeah.
Like a free game being pay to win is more acceptable. Not even being pay to win. A free game having being as predatory as this is expected.
Yeah.
This is the most this is a predatory game that we pay $70
Yeah,
entry
and
fee.
for the privilege of being
Yeah.
robbed. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Privilege
it
of being
is-
robbed.
Well,
Yeah.
you've got the instant,
That
you've
is
got the
true.
instant purchase. You've then got the subscription service. Then you're paying on top for packs and cards. Like it's monetized at every conceivable level. This game.
And you got that Pro Pass too now.
Yeah, that's a subscription pass. Yeah, it's all there.
I
It's all
honestly
there.
forgot that existed until just now.
Yeah, every monetization model that exists within this game. Cool. I think we're done. I don't know how long we gone. 2.5 hours. Josh like tapped out
Wow.
at some point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Dude, tapped
somebody
in at
showed
some
up
point.
2 hours late. Yeah. So
Has anyone got anything else they want to cover?
The game sucks. Sorry.
yeah,
I
the
wish it
game's just
didn't.
bad.
The game is just bad. I wished I had an answer. I don't. All I can do is just throw up my hands and say whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, realistically, right? We're talking about possible changes being made for either next year or the year after. They're down in revenue now, right?
Only gonna get worse.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse. And I'm assuming some idiot that they've just hired with a marketing degree from like Stanford is going to come in and realize that if they haven't already. So they're going to have to
It's
make
either
some
Nepo
radical
babies,
changes.
Nepo baby.
Yeah, there could be a Nepo baby in there. Or,
The next generation of Nepo babies could save us. We'll have to pray.
I mean, well, first off, you got the CEO doing workout content. Like, dog, you're worth like millions and millions of dollars. Why are you out here doing bicep curls on Instagram? Weirdo shit. I just like, whatever. Anyways, but I have to assume someone's going to come in and they're going to be like, hey, let's use this like public downfall to make more money by bringing all the things back people like. I just assume they're going to do that because every game does that in like a 5-year cycle. So I don't think we're never going to see the auction house again. Like next year, is it going to be in the game? Probably not. Is in 2026 in the game? I think if it's still Myteam, then yeah, they will bring it back, but it will be predatory, like Jacob said.
I think that's my opinion. That's most likely. I think the auction house comes back sometime, but I think that cards will be gate kept from it, like gate cards are gate kept now.
I
think it'll
genuinely
be.
believe
yeah.
never. Look, the thing that 2K are very good at, and again, it's down to how gullible we are or naive we are that allows it to happen, is normalizing the weirdest shit. Like normalizing opening packs with almost no chance of actually pulling a card, normalizing getting 20,000
Weird.
points for a card. You know, we normalize the weirdest things. That player market hack situation will get normalized.
By the way, we're
You're
only
right.
5 days away from their quarterly earnings call, so we'll see. We'll see, because my team will be a mention in that, as it always is. We'll see if the revenue is up in my team or not in 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
I'm
it?
very
Quarter
excited to
one? Is it quarter one results?
Quarter one, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah, it says Q4 2024, but obviously
They have weird fiscal
they have
years.
Q3. Their Q3 was February the 8th, so it's between.
Yeah.
Ironically, the following quarter will bang because it will be in like consumer friendly season, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
guess, but we'll see. I mean, me personally, I went from, I can be transparent about this because I don't really care. It's not like I upload content anymore, but like I went from probably 2022 spending like probably between 3 and 5 grand on microtransactions for 2K, right? To this year spending literally $10. So if I'm doing that, I have to assume other people are doing that too. So they have to be hurting
Yeah,
in some
that's
capacity.
about accurate. Yeah. for
Yeah,
me.
there's no way they replaced all of the people who did what I did with like a couple whales. I just like don't believe that's possible.
And Liz, we talked about this earlier. Even hypothetically, if they did, like it's still like a long-term shooting themselves in the foot
Yeah.
situation. Like those whales that hypothetically might be making up the difference right now, like the jig will be up eventually, bro. Like they're not
Yeah.
gonna spend their next 10 years opening $10,000 worth of packs. Most people, even the rich people, you know, they get over the game eventually. So, you know.
I mean, not to tie 2K in with the cannabis industry in any way, shape, or form, but it's very similar to something that we see where you got these weirdo brands coming out selling like $1,800 ounces, and they'll make a lot of money in like 3 months, and then they'll just completely die. And that's because they don't consistently sell anything to anyone, because only the most, frankly, idiotic people in the world would spend that. So eventually they're going to dry up a little bit, and that company is going to die. And 2K is kind of going that same route right now with what they're doing, relying on a small percentage of guys that dump $500 to $1,000 on them every month.
I think they're still relying on a mindset that hasn't existed for 4 years. Like the COVID mindset, the stimulus check era, all of these things. Like people are just living normal lives now, bro. They don't have time to do this shit. No one's got the money to be pumping into this game like this. If you were to drip feed money out of us, cool, do that.
Yeah.
Make me send
2K,
the bag every Friday.
2K were drip. The funniest part is that I spent more money up till February this year than I ever have before, and all of it went into 2K's pocket because they were drip. I was cool with spending $50 to $70 a week on the game.
The drip feed was the way.
The drip feed. I was cool with the drip feed, but I spent zero. The problem is, did enough people that went from drip feeding money to spending zero? Did the gamblers spend double? Because if they doubled up on their money on more, then if they lost half the players, like if 75% of people stopped spending money that were spending money, but the remaining 25% spent 5 times more, they're making a profit.
I would love
Based on
to
the
know,
fighting I've seen the timeline. Yes, I would say they have.
Based on the poll that I put out, I would love to see the percentage of those people that have rated this game mode a 3 out of 10. How many of them have spent over $500 on this game in that time?
So I mean, I'm one of them.
Yeah, I would be really interested to know, because I bet you that number's high.
Yeah, talk about normalizing things. It's so baffling that we've been normalized into just accepting, like DBG said, I'm fine spending $50 to $70 a week on this game. Granted, you make it back, obviously, so it's a little bit more like incentivized for you. But there's people who do not make any money playing this game that spend that same amount, and that is crazy.
There's people that have got a rabbit hole on this game.
I will also say that there are people that will spend that amount on a night out drinking once a week. And if
100%.
If it is someone's hobby and they have the money and they're spending 50 to 75, I don't think that's a absolutely crazy thing, because people spend more money on more destructive hobbies. But if the fact is that if it turns into spending, instead of spending a little bit of money on a hobby to just opening packs every week, then it goes into the territory of I'm gambling.
Yeah,
I don't think hobby is gambling.
It's not controlled anymore.
Yeah. It's not controlled. It's not set amount. It goes into the territory of now I'm gambling. My hobby is now gambling.
True, and I agree with you too. But yeah, it's just weird when you talk about normalizing things that has been so normalized in all the Ultimate Team game modes. Like it's just not looked on as weird or anything besides just normal, and that's like kind of crazy to me, you know.
But
it was like that before.
I will say that like no money spent is also quite normal.
Yeah.
Like it's just been made, not that it's been made harder this year, it's just now if you're no money spent, you basically have to use the cards 2K wants you to use.
There's only one way to be no money spent.
Yeah. And it's grind every Tuesday set. And maybe buy one cheap card on a Friday.
Right. I'm gonna wrap, guys, because I think we're definitely at 2.5, maybe more. I am gonna end by doing a couple of things. First of all, my 2K content journey is done. I'll tweet about it. I'll have some fun with it. But in terms of anything serious, is over. I've had a great time doing it. I think leading up to becoming a next maker was actually the most fun I've ever had. In the community, we did the tournament. The fun fact I was going to give you earlier: 75% of people who played in that tournament don't play the game anymore. It was a year ago, by the way. It's been fun. The podcast has been the best part of it. Community is the only reason I've had any level of I don't know, acknowledgement in this community, right? Becoming next maker logo, all that stuff. It happened because of community, no one else. Support of the podcast, all of that stuff. I will do one other podcast this year if this podcast gets 300 likes. If it gets 1 like less, I won't do it. Okay, so 300 likes, and we'll run another one at the end of the year to see where we're at. I will probably still play the mode a little bit, but nowhere near, and I haven't got really any interest in buying the game next year. But I would like everyone on the call just to do your summary on this. Take as much time as you need individually, but yeah, do your summary, and then we'll call it. Matt, do you wanna kick us off?
Yeah, I feel like we've all done a disservice to ourselves by investing in the game. They don't invest in us. And I'm speaking for me first. You know what I'm saying? I could be the first person to say, man, that I've really spent money, spent time, I spent, my own, tears. I've spent everything on a mode that really has just been, just redundant. And unfortunately, it's at a state where I don't think there's really no reviving it, not even at 25. It just looks grim. And I would love to see auction house. I would love to see, things happen for this mode, gameplay changes and all that. But really, will it happen? I really just don't think it will. And going back to the thought I had earlier about my team, being cooked and where I feel like it's being cooked, I just don't feel like it will ever come back to those glory days. I mean, what really, when you think about it, hindsight 2020, was my team ever really great? I mean, you would have to think back years, when it was great, or maybe if you think about it to yourself, when was it really great for you? I can think about just a few moments, but when was it really great? And it's at an unfortunate state. I will say this: I love you guys that's here, and there's a certain amount of people in the community that I really care for, And if I had never come back to 2K, I always will, miss community. But with that being said, I don't think sitting here, and I know you mentioned that would never be another pod or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? We all are walking pods, so that we cannot say that there would not be another podcast. We are all walking pods. Every time I stream or load up, it's a pod for real. It's a talking session, especially with this baited game of 2K. But at the end of the day, man, we're all our team, man, for real. We really are. We're all our team. So that's all I have to say. Happy birthday to my daughter. I love you.
Yeah, shout out.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
Shout out Mojo's daughter.
Yeah.
Shout out Mojo as well for spending this time with us today. I know you've probably got it's cake time soon, surely.
Yeah. I'm ready for the cake. I'm ready for the ice cream. Whipped. All right, I got a quarter sheet ready to go, man. I've waited 2 days, believe it or not, for it to be made, and they finally gave me the call. So
Big
yeah,
dubs.
man, my little one is 12 today, man. But real quick,
Yeah, that's crazy.
real quick, yeah, it's wild because yesterday it feels like she was born. But
Mhm.
as for my team, man, I feel like it would never get back to those glory days. And regardless of the case, man, I am appreciative of community. I'm appreciative of you, Jazz, everybody here, Jacob. I appreciate you, Mick, for what you do, man, and the community. You stand on business, every single day. You stand on business, and I respect that. Jacob, you already know what it is, man. Motown's finest, man. Ludes, boy, you just cook, man, just cook. I love you, dude. Josh, you too. You the best,
Oh,
man.
I was hoping you'd leave Josh out.
Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate you too, Mojo. Yeah, facts. Everything you said was legit. I think. Let's go. Let's end with Ludes. Jacob.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know how to summarize it more than just kind of echoing what Matt said, right? Like it was great while it lasted. I haven't streamed in a long time. I've, streamed maybe 5 times in the past 4 months or something like that. And it's not because of 2K, it's because I just want to catch up with the people in the community, that's really it. So, I mean, for the foreseeable future, like my team's probably tucked. Thankfully, my life outside has always been more than the game. So it was really nothing for me. I never committed myself to this full time or anything. So it's really not a big deal. But yeah, it's just disappointing. Just really disappointing because, where we were at 3 years ago, 2 years ago even, it felt like the game still had a long ways to go to be anywhere near perfect, but there was good groundwork there. They kind of just pile drived it. So like, I'll still maybe load it up once in a blue moon because at the end of the day, I've been playing basketball video games since I was 7 and I'm 27. So it's almost like my comfort game to play a little bit of virtual basketball. But yeah, it's over, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't see it changing, but I appreciate the times we had. A wise man once said, smile because it happened, don't cry because it's over. So.
Yeah, nice. Mick.
I mean, I have an entire channel dedicated to what I think about this game mode. So,
True. Just go watch the 600,000 video.
Yeah, go watch one of the 10,000 videos on any of the channels. And the worst part is I'm not even exaggerating with that number.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, like, look, the modes. The mode's cooked. Like, it's absolutely cooked, and there's been good times, there's been bad times. And like, it used to be at the stage, while everyone, even in my team, everybody talks about the current 2K more negatively than it is. Like, you can see so many tweets back in the like 2K22 days, 2K21 days of my team guys being like, my team's without question better in Park. I feel bad because of what 2K are doing with my team. And now it's the worst Ultimate Team game mode there is. It might be one of the worst game modes in general in gaming there is.
Yeah.
And it looks, and being a part of the community is never going to be the same, because we're a community based around a game mode who the people making the game mode seem to be making decisions to actively spite the community. So when people are talking about, the communities, like, the community needs to be more positive, it never will be. Like, how can you have a good community, a positive community around a product that's only goal is to extract as much money out of us as possible, while not even making us enjoy the money being extracted out of us?
Yeah.
Like, if they were trying to get money out of us, but it was at least an enjoyable experience, it would be something. But it's just not. It's not. The game mode is a vehicle for us. NBA 2K My Team used to be a game mode in a video game that brought 2K money. NBA 2K24 My Team is something that is there to extract money out of every single player that plays it. And if you're not willing to spend all your money on this game, you're grinding your life away, so much so that you either leave, or eventually you just don't have enough time to do everything and you start spending money anyway. It's not a game mode anymore. It is a vehicle for us to give 2K money. It's not a game. Like, it used to be a fun mode that would make 2K money, and there was obviously pay to win, there was obviously microtransactions, but now the game mode doesn't matter. It's a freemium mobile game. That's all it is.
Well said. Well said. Shall I cover Josh? What would he say? Fuck this game. All right, there's
Yeah,
Josh.
go
probably.
next.
Did
Go
he shut
next.
his hole in his wall, or did he fix it? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll punch another hole. He's got 2 holes in the wall now.
Oh no. The Knicks did just lose. Yeah, so that tracks.
Yeah, I mean, he would say something along those lines. I think that's Josh covered. Ludes.
Yeah, all right. So one thing I've noticed that, like, even though I haven't really been playing this game, the thing that I've noticed that has made me believe that public opinion has really shifted is, obviously having been connected with DBG for years, his comment section is typically filled with people yelling at him for complaining all the time. But I've noticed this year specifically, you've had way less of those guys in there saying that you complain for no reason, which is probably a good indication that this game's really bad. So
yeah, people seem to hate me less now than they did back in the day, which is bad.
Like your tweets, there used to be at least like 50 guys who would be like, all you do is complain while complaining themselves. Now there's only like 1 or 2, so that's pretty good indication of how terrible the experience is. So do I have any hope in the future? No, I don't. I think 2K is going to keep going until they bottom out, but being as large as they are and having a monopoly over basketball games, they're never really going to bottom out at the end of the day. I think if anyone's going to fail, it's them for sure, but I just don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Now, what does that mean for us? We're just going to have to suffer through a bunch of terrible basketball games for eternity at this point. I don't think anyone else is ever going to get the licensing. I think we're stuck with 2K forever. We can have pipe dreams about NBA Live coming back, but at the end of the day, it's EA. It's going to be just as bad, just slightly less bad because they're trying to win people over. So, kind of a grim outlook for anyone who likes basketball video games. And also, they still haven't given me a top tier Oster tag, and I swear to God, like, what is wrong with them?
Would you get back on the game today if it dropped?
For like a few minutes for sure. Yeah.
Enter the looker code.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, like, all right. I can't say for certain if they made me spend money on it, if I would spend money on it. Just out of principle.
You can't say for certain.
I can't say for certain because it's like, it's like 100 overall Oster tag. That would be so funny. Like, would I spend $20 on that? Probably. Honestly, I would forego my morals and spend $20 on that. No question.
That's how
But
easy
it's 2K.
it is.
Yeah, but it's 2K. It would be 75. But yes, whatever. Also a little update. People ask me what I do for work like constantly, and I just ignore them for the last like
You're still Hollywood on that app.
year of my life. Yeah, no, I'm not Hollywood. I wish.
You showed up 2 hours late to the podcast. About you're not. Hollywood.
That's because I had some emergency pull up on me, and also I thought I had enough time because I was like, oh, it's at noon. Forgot about time zones. So, you know, which by the way, I realized I looked back in the messages. You didn't even say noon. You said 11. So I'm an idiot 2 times. So,
Agreed.
which you didn't bring up, and then you're just waiting for me to cop. No, so what I do for work, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna say it here so people leave me alone. I'm one of the heads of sales for a cannabis company. So I'm busy all the time, 24/7, which is why I stopped streaming and doing content creation because I work like 75 hours a week. So I don't have time for that. I mean, yeah. It's kind of hard to complain about hours when you sell weed for a living. So cool, you know.
Things coming up Millhouse.
Yeah. But I have been planning on doing some more content related stuff. But I kind of just been waiting on you guys to do some stuff like Among Us streams or something. That's kind of when I'm going to be.
Bro, I've hooked up those mods, man. But I'll run you through it after the pod. But
okay.
Ooh, some of those mods are fun, dude.
Yeah, so I realistically
I'm gonna kill Josh in 100 different ways. It's gonna.
Oh, that's so good. I love to hear that. That's good stuff. Realistically, though, I'm not going to be playing 2K pretty much at all for the remainder of the year. I don't think there's really anything they can do to make me turn 2K on. This is the first time in years that 2K hasn't been on the home icon of my Xbox, which is just crazy to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, I played it every single day, multiple times a day, even at times, for the past 6-7 years. Yeah, at this point. And now it's not even an icon on my home screen. I kind of forget I even have it sometimes because it's that not important to me, which is just wild to think about. I mean, it's so far removed from me that I don't even engage with 2K content at this point, which is just crazy because I have for years, but it's like I don't look at their tweets. I don't see anything from them. And part of that is, you know, X being a horrific platform that deserves to die. But, you know, what are you gonna do about it? Yeah. Honestly, 2K and Twitter are a perfect combination, really.
Of toxicity. Yeah.
Yeah, of toxicity for sure. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about the game. It's terrible. The gameplay, I think, gets left out a lot. But this year I feel like is so unnecessarily hard for no reason. Like when you're playing against a CPU, it's like bafflingly difficult and unfun. And every time there's like an exploit that helps people do things faster this year, at least up until like December, they just removed it for no reason. Like backdoor cuts and things like that, which I understand were annoying for online play, but dude, turn the difficulty down. Like every other game, every other Ultimate Team game, you just pull up and you can just like play the game and like have fun sort of and still get like rewards and like have a good time. 2K, no, you can't do that. You can't just play the game for fun. It's not possible. Like they don't even allow you to do that, even if you like the gameplay. Like if I go and play a domination game on like Pro, I'm gonna have to play like 600 of them to get anything. Like
you probably won't even get anything. You probably just get MT and then pull nothing.
MT and XP, that's all you would get.
Yeah.
And so it's just weird. The XP trees are unrewarding. It's just it's terrible. I hate this game. It makes me sad.
All right, I'll pick it up from there. All right. I just want to finish by saying the following. The stuff that we've spoken about on this podcast, some of it is opinion, some of it is fact, and some of it is just educated opinions, right? The facts are undeniable, right? The lies that have been told is undeniable. The fact this is a greedy mode, that's a fact. The general consensus, like I put a poll up there. I didn't lead anyone in any way, right? And say like, can you say this mode is terrible? Like, here's my opinion on this. I just put a survey out there and said, what do you guys think of this mode? Here's 10 different criteria. Feel free. It's struggled in areas to get over 0 out of 10 in some sections. 3 out of 10 as an entire mode. That is an objective poll on your video game. I think the biggest issue we've had for a very long time is when we say something negative, we're looked at as the enemy. We're whinging, we're complaining, we should shun this person. We're not the enemy. We're the people you need to make this game successful.
Yeah.
We're the people you need to draw interest back into this mode Because guess what? When it was at its peak, we're the people that made it that way. We're not idiots.
I mean,
we're
yes.
not clueless. We're not just whinging. We're not lying. You are. And we're calling you out on it. That is the situation. So if you want to make a better game, and if you ever care about making a better game again, engage with your community again. If not, we will watch this game mode die with you. That's it. That's everything I have to say. Thanks to everyone for watching this podcast and every other podcast. We started this 4 years ago. Me, Josh, and Jakel. Shout out to Jakel as well. He's doing amazing things in his life. And yeah, maybe we'll do another one. 300 likes. But until then, I'm done with the podcast. I'm done with my team. I'm done with 2K. And yeah, peace out.